Yo, what up? Random boxing conversations on the boxing source. Just want to get into some stuff that's out and about what's happening, some floating topics out there, man, and had a few things that I wanted to get off my chest or whatnot. Um, we got a few things that were out and about in the past couple of days. We had some things that went down over the course of the past couple of days. Um, we talk about this Canelo stuff and shit, and everybody was talking about, Canelo could possibly be fighting Caleb Plant, and now it seems like that fight is out by the wayside, and uh, the talks about that was kind of like they wanted to work a deal with Canelo Alvarez. According to I guess a reporter through what is it, ESPN Deportes, or something like that. They said they wanted to work a deal to uh, have Canelo on for 3 fights under PBC, I guess, but that fell through or something. So you may see like a one and done type of deal with Canelo. Canelo is pressed to fight uh, this year. You have that announcement through Eddie Reynoso, the trainer and manager of Canelo Alvarez, that hey, we went through the whole thing. We got a settlement with Golden Boy Promotions and the Zone, and um, Canelo's a free agent, and he's ready to fight this year. And once that dropped down, then the buzz was that he could possibly fight Caleb Plant. And of course, Caleb Plant, the IBF super middleweight champ, had his mandatory defense against Vincent Figueroa over in Memphis. Was it back in February? And that's when you initially heard the buzz about him possibly fighting Canelo Alvarez, and that it might that he could have been an opponent, uh, by May of this year. Before all of this pandemic stuff or whatever went down. But he had that quote. I guess he said he's on Caleb Plant time or CP time or something like that. So it was what it was back then. Um, but now this whole thing about him fighting Canelo Alvarez is kind of like out the window, or at least it's looking like it's not in the cards. And now the possibility is that Canelo Alvarez will be fighting Callum Smith. Intangible, what's going on? How you doing? Just randomly talking about boxing here. Kind of been under the weather over the past couple of days, so just trying to recover. Had like a bad headache or some shit, man. That shit was like weird as fuck. Um, wasn't like I was dizzy or nothing like that, but I didn't know where it came from or anything like that. Um, but just recovering right now. But back on the thing. Yeah, like I was saying, Canelo. You might, I guess, get an announcement soon, maybe tomorrow. You know, um, and we were talking about Callum Smith that's possibly training. All right, that's what's up, intangible. Um, that Callum Smith is, training and things like that, and it probably wouldn't be much of an issue for a fight between Canelo and Callum Smith to take place in comparison to a fight between Canelo and Plant. They're kind of like, I guess, trying to make Canelo Plant be like a pay-per-view type of event. So with that being said, you're not gonna have Caleb Plant versus Canelo Alvarez on a pay-per-view when you already had um moved Spence Garcia to be a pay-per-view on December 5th. So you're not gonna have two pay-per-view events
on at the same month, right? So you do have that. Um,
So I think, they're gonna have this one-time deal with Canelo Alvarez going up against Callum Smith. There'll be for that, what is it, the WBA Super Championship. If I'm not mistaken, Callum Smith is the Ring Magazine champ at super middleweight as well. I think through that World Boxing Super Series tournament. So that I think that's going to be a good fight. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be one thing that I'm looking ahead to. I think they're gonna, I guess, make the decision by tomorrow or Saturday as to when the news will come down. Because it seems like when it comes to
boxing news, particularly with a fairly high profile or high profile fighter, that they drop the news either on Friday or on a Saturday, usually when boxing action goes down. So, yeah, be on the lookout in the next couple of days for an update with Canelo Alvarez, because that's what I kind of like see there. Um, Shout out to you jumping in.
Yeah,
Um,
what's up, homie?
yeah, man, just you know, um, the weather the past couple of days, but just trying to get through it and whatnot, man. But just talking boxing, just going over some random news, and had some things that I wanted to get off my chest, man. Let me see if I add intangible up in here, man. Intangible, what's good with you?
How's it going?
Man, just chilling out, uh, talking boxing and whatnot, man. Thanks for coming on here, man. Yeah, let's talk about the thing with Canelo. Earlier today we were talking. I guess this Canelo Plant fight is, now not in the cards, but I just felt like if it was going to be a fight of that magnitude, that it would probably be a pay-per-view type of event. So if it was going to be pay-per-view, they're not going to have that so soon, like within 6 weeks. It's like if Canelo is really adamant or really pushing the fight this year, it was going to be either December 12th or December 19th, and that's within 5 weeks. So they're not gonna say, "Hey, we're gonna put Canelo versus Plant on a pay per view within 5 weeks time." Like it takes a good amount of time for resources to be reserved or set aside for them to come up with a pay per view event. So Canelo Plant, at least for now, is out of the cards, but Canelo Smith is still a possibility. And I know this is like really a small chance, but I don't think Canelo is fighting Yildirim. I just don't see that happening.
You don't see you don't see him fighting Plant or Smith.
I see him fighting Smith. I don't see him
Yeah.
fighting Plant.
Right. But see, something you said, I don't know if I 100% agree with, or I might have misheard you, man. Because I think you said that you said the plant fight would need to be built up more. You think it would be a like a bigger fight? Like what fight do you think is bigger? I would think Caleb Smith is, just for the simple fact that I like I wouldn't say that he may necessarily be better than Caleb Plant, but he does have a victory that's bigger than Caleb Plant's. I feel like George Groves is a bigger victory than Uzi. That's the guy that Caleb beat.
Category.
Agreed.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I don't
supposedly,
I don't know. I don't know which one's the bigger fight though. Like as far as I mean, I don't care about the revenue or anything, but I would think that like you said, it's a pay-per-view fight. I just wonder which one's bigger.
Well, I mean, the way that Caleb Plant has been, I guess, built or invested in through Fox, uh, kind of like makes it seem like he's one of the top guys there at super middleweight. So um, him against Canelo, if they if you didn't have all of this stuff with the pandemic lockdowns and stuff like that, fight between Canelo and Plant in Las Vegas would have, garnered a lot of attention there. But for the time being, they're trying to have Canelo be either fighting in San Antonio or in the Dallas area AT&T stadium. So with that being said, it's about who wants to use their resources in order to get the broadcasting rights for the fight. I think Matt's on here from MVO from the Bronx. Bronx stand up. What's going on? What's happening?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, Canelo. Come on home, Canelo. Showtime misses you, Canelo. I heard your man say that somehow Callum Smith is a bigger fight than Caleb Plant. I'm not sure what country he's from. Maybe he's from the UK, but
Callum Smith is from the UK. He's from Liverpool.
I'm talking about you. I ain't talking about Callum Smith. I'm trying to figure out how the hell can Callum Smith be a bigger fight than Caleb Plant in the United States of America. Nobody knows who Callum Smith is. Nobody cares who Callum Smith is. Caleb Plant was fighting on Fox, Big Fox, being watched by millions of viewers. People know who Caleb Plant is. Caleb Plant is fresh. He could talk that shit too, which is what we need to sell a Canelo fight. Because Canelo, I mean, how much does he really say? Golovkin, you are next, my friend. Or I was born ready. That's all we know Canelo to say. So we need Caleb Plant versus Canelo. Callum Smith, good fighter, a nice fighter, but nobody cares about Callum Smith here. Nobody.
I actually agree. Callum Smith is not even a big star in the UK. People like to exaggerate the magnitude of a Callum Smith versus Canelo fight because Callum Smith is from the UK. How much does he draw from the UK anyways? I mean, the extent of his popularity comes from him fighting George Groves, who, did have that fight in front of 80,000 fans at Wembley Stadium where he got knocked out in front of Carl Froch. But Callum Smith's profile didn't even grow much off of that.
Well, that's because Callum Smith is not with a great promoter. Eddie Hearn has done a shit job with Callum Smith his whole career. If you look at Callum Smith's career, what did you say? George Groves was the fight that gave him notoriety. Well, guess what? Eddie Hearn had nothing to do with that. That was the World Boxing Super Series. So as for
that was a tournament, right? Yeah.
As for Eddie Hearn promoted fights, Callum Smith has fought no one that anyone cares about and has not grown his so-called Q rating within the boxing community.
Well, to the brother, look, brother, I didn't mean to jump in between your little thing or whatever, but another thing I was thinking of, you think maybe the only way that Callum Smith could really carry his own weight is if that fight is held in the UK?
Yeah, that's it.
And Canelo's a shot caller. He's not going to the UK fight.
Well, Canelo has said that he wants to go to the UK, but there's no purpose in him going to the UK right now because no fans are allowed. So they're not going to sell out Anfield because there's no fans allowed.
Facts. So it don't make any sense to go anywhere, really.
Yeah, exactly. So you need someone who's going to sell pay-per-view or subscriptions if he chooses to fight in the zone again. To me, that person is Caleb Plant, but I guess Uncle Al doesn't want to put on a pay-per-view so close to Spence versus Garcia.
You think that's it? You think that would turn him off?
The thing is, you're not gonna use additional resources, whether it's gonna be from Fox or Showtime, to have another pay-per-view, event up. You can pretty much have one pay-per-view event a month. So that's like saying, hey, I'm gonna have a Charlo pay-per-view and then also have the Tank Davis pay-per-view on at the same month. He's not going to do that.
And also, I always feel like with the UK fights, I agree with both of y'all saying, because also with the UK fights, as far as, I don't think you could, as an American or if a fight that's held in America, you can't really bank on UK purchases when it comes to pay-per-view because of the time difference or whatever. So they probably won't even, they have to stay up till like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning just to see the fight if they want to watch it live. So that's another reason why he should fight Caleb Plant. So I agree with what the brother saying.
Yo, Matt, you were saying something also?
Well, what I was saying, well, I actually forgot what I was saying. No, what I was saying was that I think we could now officially eliminate Caleb Plant as Canelo's next opponent after the news that just came down regarding Nordine Ubali and Nonito Donaire. So
did they officially scratch it or delay it or something?
Yeah. Ubali cannot get into the United States, so he has been stripped of his WBC belt.
Oh shit!
Damn.
He's been
time to check these rankings.
He's been named the champion in recess. So Nonito Donaire is going to fight Emmanuel Rodriguez for the vacant WBC bantamweight title, and they're moving that from the 12th of December to the 19th of December, which is the date that Canelo wanted.
Wow.
I mean, we kind of knew that they were going to do something with that Ubali Donaire fight anyway.
Yeah.
So
I remember we spoke about that. I told you something is up with that fight.
Yeah.
I knew something was up with it, and it finally just came down today. So it's not surprising. What is surprising is they took the title off of him. But, PBC, WBC, they're like two peas in a pod. So, it is what it is with that. That's the way the game goes. But it's moving to the 19th. And then the November 28th Showtime card that was supposed to be headlined by Chris Colbert versus Jamie Arboleta. That entire card is moving to December 12th. So you're going to have the triple header with Colbert versus Arboleta. You're going to have Korobov versus Ronald Ellis. And then you're going to have Hitchens versus Mendez all on December 12th. And November 28th, there's going to be no boxing from Showtime.
Oh, so that clears everything up for that Tyson Jones.
Yep.
Like everybody's clearing that schedule. They're like, oh nope, we're gonna have Tyson and Jones be the only thing going down on that day, man.
The zone has to be kicking themselves because they should have picked up Tyson versus Jones, to be honest with you. That fight is right up their alley. And they got their YouTube alum on the card. They should have picked it up because now that fight is going unopposed.
So who's going to broadcast it, guys?
That's going to be a Triller pay-per-view.
Triller.
And it's going to be on the Fight TV app.
So it's going to be on Fight TV? That's where it's at?
Fight TV and Triller.
Yep. That's where it's gonna be at, man. So
y'all think that shit go sell? Yo, Boxing Source, you think that shit's gonna sell, man?
I'm not seeing much off of this, man. This is what, in about 2 weeks' time, and I'm not seeing much coming out of, Triller or whatnot, man. And I haven't checked the trends, man. I got the trends checker, on with us. Have you seen any movements as far as like Google Trends for Tyson and Jones or whatnot?
I'll be honest.
Nobody.
I think it'll sell a little bit because let's be honest. The way the market is today, Miguel Cotto could get in decent shape and announce a comeback fight and probably sell more than most of these fighters. I don't know. I think the fight will sell at least a little bit.
Y'all don't think the fight had more traction before they pushed it back and shit? Because it was kind of like
when they initially announced it for that September, that was getting definite traction because it was coming off of the momentum of Tyson's video, 1 minute video talking about I'm back, that had what 8 million views within a week or 8 days time. So now it's like, okay, they push it back. Like, how is that momentum continuing? Right now. So I don't know how that's shaping up.
Maybe he'll talk about it on his podcast. I don't know. I mean, I think Tyson has a big enough platform to where he should be smart enough to try and promote it a little bit more at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I
Even
mean,
fucking Triller was out here fucking broadcasting boxing events.
that to me is just where I'm like, I just don't like how that's going. But like I said, I mean, you got 13 million followers out here and stuff like that. But like the views for Tyson's videos, they're about like floating around 450,000. 400,000, 450,000. But I gotta see like how this will turn out, as far as like how many people will actually say, what, I want to go ahead and see this fight. So I'm not sure how that's going to turn up, and whatnot.
Honestly, I think this fight is going to be bigger in the UK than it is going to be in the US. I think that's why you see Tyson, being so deferential to UK fighters, because he knows that's where the real audience is going to be at. Those are the guys that are so nostalgic that they're suckers to buy this. We saw the last Tyson exhibition against Corey Sanders. Let's keep it real. We don't want to see that again. But the suckers in the UK, because they're desperate for content, they're more likely to purchase this pay-per-view, which is why they also put it on the Fight TV app.
Yeah, so like they'll probably support. They tend to like over there across the pond, like they tend to support boxing regardless. Like it don't matter who's fighting. Like that shit crazy to me. But I mean, I respect that. I think that's pretty cool. But at the same time, like here in America, it's like y'all got to show us something. Like I'm not just gonna purchase any pay-per-view fight, So
well, we'll see. We'll see what time they put the event on. I think that'll really tell us who they're gearing this fight towards, based upon the time. If they put the start time about 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the evening, then you know that they're gearing towards the UK audience, because the UK audience will still be up 11 or 12 o'clock.
Oh, that reminds me.
Kind of, well, actually, this thing is at 9 p.m. Eastern time is what they were scheduling it for. So
that reminds me. What have they disclosed what Usyk Chisora sold? Probably the worst pay-per-view card in boxing history.
Nope. I certainly haven't seen anything in reference to that yet.
Let me check.
Well, look, why are you checking that? Can I ask this question? Like, why? Like, so, and that's the fight they chose over the Bud Crawford versus Kell Brook fight, right? Isn't that what they did? They chose the Chisora versus Usyk fight over the Bud Crawford, as opposed to like televising the Bud Crawford versus Kell Brook fight. Like,
what do you mean, as opposed to televising?
Well, because I didn't think that supposedly they didn't want to stack both fights. I know that supposedly Sky didn't want to broadcast the fight, the Bud versus Kell Brook fight.
Well, that's Eddie Hearn. That's not Sky. That's Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn controls the boxing budget of Sky, basically. And he had a little falling out with Kell Brook, because if you remember, he was his promoter, but he didn't support Kell Brook fighting.
Coming to America, right? I think he wanted the fight to be in the UK, I believe.
Yeah. So Kell Brook went ahead by himself and closed the deal himself. So of course Eddie Hearn wasn't gonna put it on Sky.
Yeah, but the excuse he used supposedly is because he's like they already had a big fight with like Usyk and whatchamacallit lined up, and they didn't want to supposedly stack the fights or some shit like that. I just knew it was bullshit, whatever it was.
That doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. They're occurring on different dates.
Yeah, I know. Supposedly it was, that was the excuse.
It was going to be on a different month too. So you to tell me that they couldn't have something on their monthly budget to accommodate both fights?
Right,
Of
that's
course
how I
they
know
could
it's personal. That's why I figured it had to have been something personal.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know how that was basically arranged and stuff
Hey,
like that.
where was Usyk versus Chisora again?
Was it O2?
London at
Not
what's
where,
the
when?
O2 or
When?
Wembley? Oh, October 31st.
October when?
31st.
October 31st. Hold on.
That's 2 weeks before Crawford Brook.
Let's see. Sky box office. Where we at?
So are we having a moment where someone is actually fact checking something?
Yeah, live.
Oh my God, this is the first.
No, because I'm looking up the Bob report, and it looks like they posted October 26th to November 1st. So
Yeah.
Usyk versus Chisora should be on here.
He said like that. Yeah, it should be, but
Funny enough, I don't see Sky box office on. Oh wait, here we go. Sky box office events. Okay, this is 8. Wow. Yeah, it doesn't look
where's
like
he
it's doing
saying?
well. I'm looking. I'll send you the link in the. Oh, I forgot. I don't have the WhatsApp. I'll send you the link in Messenger.
All right.
Yeah, you can look it over.
Yeah, because that's kind of that kind of might not be a good look. You know what I mean?
Number doesn't look good though. At all.
I wouldn't think it would be anyway.
They set themselves up to fail putting it on pay-per-view anyways. I mean, I'm sorry, but Usyk versus Chisora, not a title fight. Lee Selby versus George Kambosos, not even a world level fight. Maybe, yeah, okay, you know what? I take that back. That's a world level fight for an IBF mandatory position. Not enticing. Dave Allen versus Christopher Lovejoy in Christian Hammer. That's just
Trash. It's trash. That's what it is. It's a trash ass card.
Yeah.
Man.
trash is an understatement to how bad the card is for a pay-per-view.
Yeah, you can't serve that up and say that's a pay-per-view in any sense or form, and they went ahead and tried to pull that off, you know what I mean? So that's basically on them for trying to do that. One other thing that it came up, man, what's up with Golovkin, man? Like, I thought he was supposed to be fighting somebody. Where he at?
It's either Canelo or nothing at all. Probably that's what I'm thinking. It's Canelo or nothing
Where he
at all.
at, man? I thought he was supposed to fight this Cesaro Meta guy, and he was, anxious to get this mandatory defense or try to make it a mandatory defense.
He's doing exactly what he's done the last 15 years of his professional career, fighting nobody.
Oh,
big drama show.
He said it. I didn't say that. He said it.
Oh, that's disrespectful.
Oh man, hey, well, you know how we do over on this channel when it comes to so
The
hey,
myth.
Yo, I mean, you're talking about, oh, he's trying to get this Canelo fight or whatever it is. I'm like, bro, Canelo wasn't going to touch this dude. The only way that they were going to do that was trying to force it. And remember, before this whole thing was going down, and they were thinking about if the pandemic would be over before September, that they wanted to give Canelo an incentive or at least give some type of advance or a bonus and give him a purse of like 40 million for him to fight Golovkin again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just feel like, I mean, Canelo don't owe him anything. Though he gave him 2 shots, bro. It's like Triple G should just move on or retire, bro. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. It's almost like he seems like he feels like he's owed something. Like, you know.
Like he shouldn't be owed something. Like and the thing about it is like um you kind of seen the route that he was going when he lost that fight um against Canelo and lost all them belts. And they were talk about, seeing about getting another fight. And at that time, Canelo was like, nah, you need to, earn your way back. And that's when you had Jamal Charlo move up. And when Jamal Charlo moved up and beat, was it Halen, right? I think he beat Halen to be the mandatory. And they're like
Yeah.
saying, hey, hey, if you want to get back in, you need to fight, Jamal Charlo. And he didn't want to fight Jamal Charlo. So that kind of like told you right there that like, nah, like I ain't fighting.
He knew he was gonna get that work.
I'm good with fighting. Was it Steve Rose? I'm good with fighting him. He good boy. I fight him. He good boy. Charlo not good boy. That's not good drama show, But I'm like, geez, man. Let's see. What is he saying? Canelo gonna hook up with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom or Old Man Bob? Nah, he's gonna, he's just gonna have one of those one-time deals. He'll end up fighting Callum Smith. By December 19th, he's been in camp. He's already been in camp. Callum Smith's been in camp. They have a one-time deal. They'll fight on the zone, and after that, you have Canelo as a free agent, being able to move around as he pleases.
Well, supposedly he's negotiating a 3-fight deal with the PBC that I guess is supposed to begin in May.
Yeah, that's still possible. That's still possible. I mean, you can have the package where, we could fight Plant, he could fight somebody else, and then fight Charlo or something like that, and still get a good, piece of bread after that. So I see no issue with that.
Like, but regardless, his next fight's at 168, right? So if that's the case, like, I mean, I don't know. So, but how? Like, what do y'all consider him? Like, what do y'all view him as a middleweight or a super middleweight? Like, how do y'all like view him? Like,
divisionless.
Nah, I'm for real though. Like, brother,
he's division fluid.
Honestly, yeah. I don't really. His last fight was at 175. He's talked about fighting at 160, 168. He vacated his 175-pound title. He holds a title at 160, but he's not talking about fighting there right now. I mean, there's not really relegated to a single weight class at this point, but I'd probably, if I had to go with one, probably 168, since that's realistically where his next fight is going to take place.
Yeah, I think he's going to be camping out at 168 for a little bit, man.
So I guess that throws away the Jamal Charlo fight, right? Because I mean, that's the fight I want to see.
Charlo could move up.
He can still move up to 168. I mean, he walks around at probably around 170, 175. I mean, we've seen the pics of him and his twin brother with Andre Ward, and you see how he you see how they look compared to Andre Ward. So
Jamal was a huge 154 pounders and he does have a sort of slender build in some to some degree, but he's actually still a pretty big 160 pounder.
yeah,
But I guess what I was asking is like, cause see, like, but wouldn't Jamal have to give up his belt though to go to 168, or would they let him keep it?
I mean, if he chooses to go at 168, he will give it up, but he'll be
No,
in
no, no,
that
no,
spot.
no. He doesn't have to give up the belt because he's a WBC champion. So he would be given the option to declare his intentions after the fight should he win the fight.
So wouldn't Triple G have to be 168 WBC champion then? Like, don't it have to like coincide with whatever sanctioning body? Because I would think that if Jamal will go to 168 and try to fight Canelo, and Canelo's not the WBC champion, like he'll have to like throw his belt in the trash, bro, and just like move up, bro.
Nah, he wouldn't have to do that.
Okay, that's what's up.
But I would think it would be interesting if Maul does move up, because you could possibly have Maul Charlo versus David Benavidez, and that would be an attractive type of fight.
Who you got in that fight? Who y'all got in that fight if they fight at 168? Benavidez and Jamal.
Ooh.
David Benavidez is too big, too strong, like how Crawford was for GGG.
Yeah, I would lean towards Benavidez right now. I would lean towards Benavidez. Like his punch output would take him over the edge.
I agree with that. I think he's also a bit too rangy for Jamal, and Jamal he's a completely unproven. He's completely unproven at 168.
You know,
I'll probably go just to balance shit out, since both of y'all going with David. I'll go with, I think Jamal, man. I think I might be sleeping on his skill set a little bit. He's a good boxer too.
Hey, yeah, he showed that against Derevyanchenko, that he could, deal with guys that are kind of like come forward and aggressive, but also, he was able to use his range very well. Fight well at a distance and fight well on the inside. So I think that's pretty good in this scene. Let's see, what else is this? Oh, going off of what happened, last weekend, will Devin Haney ever learn to have more pop in his punches? If not, how will it stutter his progress?
You can't just learn to have more pop in your punches. It kind of has to come to you.
Yeah,
it's natural.
Yep, because he had like a big knockout last year against Antonio Moran, and was able to stop Zora Abdullayev September of last year. But yeah, it just kind of like comes, like if he, gets bigger, or if he, fills himself out. Like he's still a young guy, so it's still time for him to develop, as a fighter and as, a person overall. So I don't think that 135 is, going to be where he's going to have a majority of his career at. So he still has to build himself up. You know what I mean? He did have a good, considerable amount of his first few fights over in Mexico. So he was going up against guys that were rough and tough and, building, his experience. So, there's ways that careers get built up. Was that?
Yeah. No, my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off. I was saying I agree with you, but like you like to, by that logic, you saying that maybe like when he goes up to like 140 or 147, you think his power might, you think he might develop a little bit more power?
Yeah. Because I don't think his overall output will be the same once he moves up.
If he fills out a little bit, I mean, maybe he can gain some more power. I don't think he's naturally the hardest puncher, though.
Yeah, but I don't know. I will say this though, like I mean, this is boxing, like, and I say I feel like the brother is very much so skilled. So sometimes I mean, he still could be effective, and he could still be, be an effective champion, even if he doesn't develop a big punch. You know, I don't know.
And
Like I said, he's still skilled.
you think so?
Yeah, I mean, look, even if he's the weakest out of all the 135 when it comes to punching, like he also has some advantages. He's more skilled. Like he's bigger than Tank. He's taller than Tank. Uh, you could say he's more athletic than Lopez or whatnot.
He's
So
not more athletic than
I don't think
Lopez.
so at all.
He
you
is
think
not more
Lopez?
athletic than Lopez.
You don't think Haney's more athletic?
Haney's a,
All
Haney's a
three of
decent
y'all?
athlete, but he's a decent athlete, don't get me wrong. But Tiafimo has every bit the hand speed Devin Haney does, and he carries the power along with it. And he's stronger. And he seems to be more coordinated and have better balance, honestly. I think he's definitely a better athlete than Devin Haney.
I What about you, Boxing Source? You think so too? You think that Lopez is more athletic than Devin Haney?
I wouldn't say he's more athletic than Devin Haney, but I think he does definitely has more power behind his punch, and he's more confident in what he does. It looks like he's more confident in what he does in the ring out there.
And he
Uh,
has more punch variety than Devin Haney. Devin Haney is very predictable.
1, 2, 1.
Yeah.
1, 2.
He
One,
fights
two.
like, I'm telling you, he
One.
fights like Leo Santa Cruz.
1, 2.
I gotta watch him fight again because I thought he was more than just a 1-2 puncher. Like
I don't think he even fights like Leo because he doesn't even know how to lead. He doesn't lead during his fights, and his output is very low. He's a pretty strict counterpuncher. I don't really see a guy who's going to consistently have a high output. I mean, I guess sometimes he'll throw flurry counters, and they're not particularly powerful, but I don't see it like that. I see him as sort of like an orthodox Devin Alexander.
So, I mean, I get it. So would y'all say like out of all the lightweights, would y'all like as far as the big lightweights are considered the best ones, like the top four or whatever? Would you say he's like last on the list?
So putting Haney last on the list?
Yeah, in other words, with Tank, Lopez, and let's see, who's the other one? I can't think. Well, Loma, Lopez, Tank, and I'm drawing a blank right now. Well, maybe that is the four. Maybe that is the four.
Belt, so I'd put him slightly above Tank Davis. Who would I favor to win? I think Gervonta knocks him out. I think Ryan would actually knock out Devin Haney, to be honest.
That's the name I was thinking, Ryan Garcia.
Right, yeah, Ryan Garcia.
As far as the youngsters, so y'all would say, y'all will put Ryan over Haney too? Okay.
I think he knocks him out, but I don't think if he beats Luke Campbell, he goes above Devin Haney. No doubt about it, in my opinion.
Well, we got to see how that's going to turn out. I think I'll be interested to see when they reschedule that bout because they're like acting like it's going to be still in December or early January.
They still don't want to put that under the Smith versus Canelo undercard.
Yeah. Well, if they do that, then that's going to be really
that'd be a sick card.
Yeah, it would be. Definitely would be. Let me see if I could. Let's see. Got like another question here in the chat. What does the future hold for Mark Breland? If you were a fighter, would you trust him, and can he find work? Well, I know that we have a person that is the off again, on again, off again president of the Deontay Wilder fan club in the house. And he feels like anyone who is against the Bomb Squad will suffer. So I guess he feels that Mark Breland spiked his water or something. Hopefully not.
Nah. He's done. Okay, it's over for Mark Breland. We don't need to see him no more.
Like y'all really think you think his name's tarnished? Like he's pretty much got the mark of the beast on him or some shit?
It don't
Like,
matter if his name is tarnished. You tell me what has he done? Everybody claims Deontay Wilder can't box, right? Well, this motherfucker have been with Deontay Wilder for 12 years. So what exactly has he done? And it's not like Deontay Wilder wasn't planning on replacing him already. Deontay Wilder was planning on replacing him before the second Tyson Fury fight, but he was talked out of it. He should have stuck to his guns and replaced them beforehand.
Mark Breland seems like a great boxing mind who doesn't translate into a trainer like that well. I mean, of course, he's been pretty successful with Wilder, considering he was a heavyweight champion, but I don't think he's built to take someone on world level to the next step.
But how can but hold up, brother? Like how can y'all say that if he's been with Wilder for 12 years and Wilder has been a champion? And I mean Wilder was this close to like tying Muhammad Ali or breaking Muhammad Ali's record, or was it Joe Louis's record for most title defenses?
No, that he didn't even come remotely close to breaking the record. He was 16 fights off of Joe Louis's record, 15 fights off of Joe Louis's record.
Okay, then it must have been Ali. It was somebody's record. He was like, for as far as title defenses go.
Well, Ali didn't have the record of 10 title defenses. That's like 5th or 6th all time in consecutive title defenses.
Okay, it was some type of WBC thing that
it was
had,
like WBC joint that they brought up with that. It wasn't like overall title defenses, because the thing is, like, the WBA is basically like the first sanctioning body that had like a world title established. And so, you know, that's why you had like Joe Louis with all those offenses, because like WBA
it was the only title back then, really.
Yeah, it was the only title. But like for the WBC, it was like about 10 or so defenses with that.
Supposedly, like that's what we were saying in the fight. Like this was like like he either he was tying the record for most WBC title defenses or some shit.
Yeah, it was WBC because everybody's favorite president Mauricio Suleiman kind of like brought that up. So
I mean, look, he does have those achievements and whatnot, but let's just be honest. This is Deontay Wilder's first step up into the elite class of heavyweights.
What are you talking about? Whoa,
Yo, you coming off like a little bit of a Wilder hater, because look, Vic, like he fought Ortiz multiple times. All right.
Okay, he's not an elite heavyweight. He's a
Okay, hold on. How can you say he's not an elite heavyweight? Name 5 heavyweights that's better than Ortiz. That's better than Luis Ortiz.
First of all, I think at the time the Wilder Fury fight happened, there were only 3 elite heavyweights: Joshua, Wilder, Fury. Right.
So then what you're saying, it really doesn't matter then, because it's only the 3. So all they can do is really fight each other.
So I'm talking about the top heavyweights in the world, and I don't think Ortiz
but what you're saying is that this was
Wilder's
first step to the elite.
How can you say
there's only 3? Hold on.
I'll name 5 heavyweights better than Ortiz
Hold on.
now.
If there's only let's name 5 heavyweights that was better than Ortiz when Wilder fought him.
Okay. Joshua.
The first time he fought him.
The first time he fought him. I'll go with Joshua, Povetkin.
Oh my God.
Yeah, yo, Prime Ortiz will wash Povetkin.
Oh my God.
Well, they never fought each other, so that's not a fact. That's
okay. So that's your opinion then. So there's not a fact that Povetkin's better than Ortiz then.
It is a fact that Povetkin's resume is
better than Povetkin. So that's the thing. The thing with Ortiz is that he's never had that particular fight against a second-tier opponent that says, okay, he's supposed to be there within the top echelon of the the heavyweight, the heavyweight guys. So my thing has always been with Ortiz is that why hasn't he ever had that type of fight? Like every time he's even close to or around that opportunity, there's some issue or something goes on with him. And he ends up fighting these guys like an Alexander Flores or some Christian Hammer type guy or Travis Kaufman, and that's supposed to be the be all end all for Luis Ortiz. But he's never, like, he hadn't even gotten a fight to a level of a Gerald Washington or an Adam Kaunaki or Charles Martin or
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Povetkin's gift decision victory against Marco Huck is honestly better than any victory on Ortiz's resume. Like, Ortiz's best victory is Bryant Jennings.
Man,
Doesn't matter.
But what I asked you was, I wanted, like, the way you painted it is like you had 5 definite guys that were for sure
Exactly.
better than
And you didn't unless you're lying. So here's the thing. All you can do is fight who's in front of you. Now, if you want to say that Wilder came up in a weak era of heavyweight, that's your opinion. But to say that he hasn't fought the guy, first of all, whose rankings are we basing these upon? Are we basing these upon Ring Magazine, the
We're
trans?
basically upon the Rumor Report ranking.
Exactly. Like, whose rankings are we basing these upon? Like, I hate when people talk about rankings. You just fight the guys who are the top in whatever belt you're defending. He's fighting guys within the top 15 of the WBC as he's required to do. That's all that matters to me.
Okay, I'm not I wasn't even criticizing Wilder's. What I was saying was that there's a clear distinguishment between a WBC top 15 fighter and an elite heavyweight, like the guys Wilder was facing.
Is there though?
Elite heavyweights, the top tier of heavyweight.
Bro, most of the heavyweights are ranked around the same. No matter the sanction about it, most of the top heavyweights and like they all ranked around the same. Like they're gonna be in that top 10, top 15, somewhere in there. Whether it's the WBC or WBA or WBO. So what's the difference?
Except for the WBO. The WBO rankings are routinely trash, by the way.
Well, not at welterweight right now. At welterweight right now, they got some hot shit right there. Right now.
All of the sanctioning body rankings are fake and trash and invalid pretty much. But regardless, Luis Ortiz is not as good as Joshua or Fury. I think we can establish that. And Joshua and Fury are a level above the rest of the heavyweights until someone else proves otherwise.
Yo, you said shit so
Shout out to MMA champ coming in and oh no.
Oh shit.
Who came in with the silence is golden, but my ears can still hear and my eyes can still see. Oh no.
Yeah, with the Wilder quote. Oh shit, man.
Shout out to MMA champ and brother Terrell on here with us, joining us, man. Let's see, man. All the aliases saying, Wilder as 40 fight experienced fighters not fought enough top level contenders. Ortiz and Fury only. And he also says that the WBC's top 10 fighters for the past 5 years has been poor. Most were food or as someone likes to say, barbecue chicken. Barbecue chicken, man. My thing was within the WBC rankings. When Wilder had his title defenses, with the exception of the fight against Bermond Stiverne, he didn't fight anyone that was ranked above 5 in the WBC rankings, with the exception of Luis Ortiz. So when you had other guys that were on there within that top 5 ranking, he didn't face those guys. The voluntary defenses were against guys that were like ranked 9, 10 or something like that. So that's basically what that was.
I'm not basing the merits in the levels of fighters based on sanctioning body rankings. Of course, politically, you do have to fight someone in the top 15 in order for a defense to count. But I mean,
Right.
to be honest, the sanctioning body rankings are garbage and fake and fabricated anyways. I mean,
Whose rankings are not garbage? Just the ones you agree with?
I definitely don't
That's
agree
what I
that
said
Junior Fa is
earlier.
a top 5 heavyweight.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I definitely don't agree that Junior Fa is a top. I mean, do you want me to go through the heavyweight rankings and point
Not
out?
really. I'm just curious as to how you claim that Luis Ortiz wasn't an elite heavyweight when he was clearly top 5 when Deontay Wilder fought him.
Well, because I think he's. I don't think.
So why would they duck him? Why would they duck him if he wasn't? Why would guys like even guys that you name? Why would they duck him? Why would a guy like Dylan White, who I'm pretty sure you probably got?
I didn't name Dillian White, but
No,
I mean Joshua sent him an offer and Ortiz did turn it down.
Hold on a second. What was that about Dylan White?
Oh, I said Dylan White. He didn't want to fight Luis Ortiz.
I do actually think that Dillian White did duck Luis Ortiz.
That's false.
No,
because I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Right? Okay. Luis Ortiz, after he fought Tony Thompson in DC, he was slated to be in part of that tournament for that WBA title. He did not face who he was supposed to face in that WBA tournament. So they basically scrapped him off and stripped him from that WBA interim title that he had, right? Now, when he went up and he had that fight on that card on December, when Anthony Joshua had that defense against who was it? Because he was setting up the fight Latimer Klitschko. In that same card, you had Dylan White on that card fighting Chisora, and you had Ortiz fighting on that card.
And Dave Allen.
Ortiz was still under Matchroom. They were setting up Luis Ortiz to fight Dylan White.
Brother, so you're saying that he didn't have numerous chances to fight and title eliminators in order to fight. So he was one fight away multiple times. He was one fight away from fighting Wilder, bro.
Again,
he could have fought.
Once again, Luis Ortiz was slated to fight Dylan White when they were both under Matchroom. And Luis Ortiz and his management left and went over to PBC.
Now, how were they able to, hold on.
That's because he didn't get the fight. Hearn was playing him, bro.
Exactly. And how was he able to leave? How was he able to leave if he was under Matchroom? The deal was up. They were never going to give him the fight. Supposedly, he signed with Matchroom to fight Joshua. That is what Eddie Hearn said. It was never going to happen. And we all know Dillian White fighting Luis Ortiz.
Why did Ortiz sign with him in the first place then? And why didn't Ortiz scream
to get the fight with AJ?
Okay, wait, whoa. What happened in October of that previous month? What happened?
Let me ask you a question, JR.
I asked the question.
I want to ask you a simple question. Are you telling me that Dillian White did not duck Luis Ortiz multiple times?
Don't do that. What happened on that month?
Even Tyson Fury blasted White.
I'm not even talking about that. What happened on that month?
You tell us.
I told you. What? Why aren't you getting past this? What happened on that month?
In October, right?
Follow with me. Stay with me. What happened on that month?
Hey, you're the storyteller. You tell us.
No, I'm not. No, don't do it.
I don't know what you're talking about, so let me know. I know he had 2 title eliminators. He could have fought Brazil. He could have fought. Okay.
I said, once again, like I said, Luis Ortiz was under Golden Boy Promotions at the beginning of that year. He fought Tony Thompson in DC. He won that bout, stoppage. Months later, he was supposed to fight for the WBC interim championship. After fighting that, he would have been fighting the winner of what was going to be at that time the rematch between Klitschko and Fury, right? But he didn't go forward with that fight because of contract disputes. He basically backed himself out of the fight. The WBA made the decision because he didn't have that fight, because he was under obligation to do that fight anyway because he signed to it. And because he broke that agreement, the WBA said, you stripped of that title and we're taking you off of that ranking. So my thing is this. If you say that you're going to be, hey, you're supposed to be the number one contender for the WBA title, and you make this, and then the WBA makes that decision, how come you didn't say anything about it? How come you weren't complaining about it? He said nothing.
Are we supposed to be talking about whether or not Dillian White ducked Luis Ortiz?
Okay, and what did I tell you? How are you on the same card, and then they set up a fight, and they were going to set up a fight, and then you say, okay, but aren't I supposed to be doing this? No, okay. So then I signed with Al Heyman.
So if he was able to sign with somebody that he wasn't under contract, they weren't trying to set it up. All I know is that Dillian White had a chance to fight Luis Ortiz, and he turned it down 2 times. That's all I know.
What he wanted, exactly, brother. What he wanted to get to Wilder without fighting anybody.
Okay, so yeah, that's right. Oh, I forgot. I'm talking to the president of the Deontay Wilder fan club. Oh, I get it.
I'm just speaking facts.
Look, we can talk about what's in these contracts or whatever. The fact is, Dave Allen is one of Luis Ortiz's top 5 wins. That's not an elite heavyweight.
He's not. People just say, why do people say these stupid things? How is he? And nobody cares about Dave Allen. That's just a British joke that these idiot British people say in order to defame Deontay Wilder. And people on their social media just run with that. It's not a fact. It's really not a fact. Nobody cares about Dave Allen. I can assure you of that.
And that's still one of his top 5 probably
It's
best
not.
wins.
It's not.
Okay, what does that have to, like, they don't have anything to do with the price of China, bro. The tea in China, I should say. Yo, think about it like this. If Luis Ortiz wasn't a problem, and if he wasn't a threat, okay, why would Dillian White complain about having to fight him
Exactly.
in order to fight Wilder, right?
Exactly.
Luis,
I mean, a guy who has Dave Allen.
Dillian White also turned down an IBF mandatory eliminator against Pulev. Does that make Pulev an elite heavyweight?
Hold up. Let the brother source say what he gotta say. What'd you say, bro?
Who did Dominic Brazil fight in order to face Deontay Wilder?
What do you mean? Who cares?
You mean in order for him to become a mandatory? What did he do? Who did he beat? I have no idea.
He beat Eric Molina.
All right. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so why is it that these guys are able to face an Eric Molina or some?
Hold on now. Oh no, JR. You're not going to do that. You're not going to do that, man. Why did Dominic Brazil fight Eric Molina? Because Dillian White did not want to face Dominic Brazil.
Oh, so you're saying that Dillian White was ducking Dominic Brazil? Are you saying that?
Yes.
What? No. Hold on.
That was a title eliminator, bro.
Hold on. What I'm saying is that for whatever reason, I don't know if it's ducking or if Mr. Eddie Hearn didn't see the value in investing money in a title shot for Dillian White. All I know is that Matchroom did not reach a deal with Dominic Brazil for Brazil and White to face off. And instead, White decided to fight Robert Helenius.
And look, And since you laughed that, you know, that's amusing that he would duck Brazil, right? Because that's a sure win. Why not fight Brazil so you can get the Wilder fight? Like,
what was happening after 2018? After
here we
December
go.
1st, 2018, what happened?
For whatever
Yo.
reason, he didn't fight Brazil. If he would have beat Brazil, he would have fought Wilder, bro. He would have been a mandatory. Think about it.
Okay, and did he basically say that he wanted to fight Dominic Brazil as long as what?
You asking all these questions. You're supposed to have the answers.
He be asking loaded questions,
Word.
bro.
Just tell us your opinion. Just tell us your opinion. No need to ask all the questions.
Okay, let's run it down. So after that first fight between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, the WBC had ordered at the time, they wanted to see if they could run that thing back with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. And also for the interim WBC title, they said that they wanted to have Dominic Brazil against Dylan White.
Yes, I remember that.
No problem.
I remember that. And then ESPN came in and signed Tyson Fury. So Wilder was forced to fight Brazil. I remember that.
That's not Dylan White's fault.
But what that got to do? What that got to do with Dillian White choosing to fight Robert Helenius instead of Dominic Brazil for the mandatory spot?
Yeah, but aren't you forgetting something that you usually have brought up in the past, or you don't want to talk about the past?
You want to talk about the amount of money he was asking for?
No, not that.
So what we talk about?
I'm talking about where you basically were stating that, Dominic Brazil wasn't going to accept that fight against Dylan White anyway because he was under an agreement to fight Bermane Stiverne.
No. See, all right. Let me rewind. Let me break it down for you. Okay.
Okay.
Bermane Stiverne was the mandatory.
Mm-hmm.
Deontay Wilder didn't want to fight Stiverne again because nobody gives a fuck about Bermane Stiverne. Okay, Deontay Wilder wanted to fight a heavyweight with a name. He wanted to fight Luis Ortiz because people claim Luis Ortiz was the boogeyman. Went back in his HBO days and back when he signed with Matchroom, Luis Ortiz was supposedly a boogeyman. So Deontay Wilder said, "All right, let me fight this guy." What happens? We have agreements that was worked on by the WBC and PBC, where you would have Wilder versus Luis Ortiz, and then you would have Dominic Brazil fighting Bermane Stiverne for the mandatory position. What happened? Luis Ortiz forgets to speak English on the application and forgets that he has blood pressure medication. Whatever. He's pulled from the main event. Bermane Stiverne, because he was the original mandatory, was elevated to the main event. Dominic Brazil, who already had an agreement to fight for the mandatory spot, was left with a contract for the mandatory position with no opponents. Dillian White could have stepped in to be that opponent. The fight was negotiated between Matchroom and PBC. Eddie Hearn chose not to meet the asking price for Dominic Brazil, who was actually willing to go over to the UK to make the fight. So the fight did not happen. Instead, Dillian White fought Robert Helenius with no mandatory position on the line, and Dominic Brazil fought Eric Molina, where the mandatory was on the line for Dominic Brazil only, where it wasn't on the line for Eric Molina. That is what happened. Thank you.
He broke that shit down.
But did Mauricio Sulaiman state that? When
Yes,
did
he did. JR, you and I have literally been arguing about this for 3 years. We've been arguing about this for 3 years.
He didn't even state that on camera when it was directly asked to him.
So how come I knew? How come I knew?
Come on, man. How come
So
Mauricio
explain to me.
wouldn't admit
Explain
it
to me
to people?
how. So
Why?
JR, explain to me how I knew that Dominic
Wait,
Brazil
hold on.
was the mandatory.
Hold on. How is it that it was not even listed as a final eliminator for anybody, even for Dominic Brazil?
No. You're
Leading
making that
into
up.
the
You're
fight.
making it up.
And
You're making it up.
how am I making it up?
You are fake news.
Okay, here's what I want you to do. Show me a publication or somebody that's from any publication that stated that
Besides the rumor report? Besides the rumor report?
The rumor report, who knows?
Because I knew.
How come Dan Rayfield? How come Keith Idec? How come
The old boxing media. You know why? You know why they didn't know? Because nobody pays attention. If people actually listen to the words people say, they could figure out what's going on in the sport of boxing. You don't have to rely on none of these stupid reporters. You can just listen and read attentively, and you will know what's going on.
Hold on, are you calling those? I know you're not calling those guys stupid reporters.
The
legendary Dan Rafael.
Only thing I know is that for years I said Dominic Brazil was the mandatory. Is that not correct, JR?
You did say that.
So then how is it that a random guy from the Gloom Tomb in Bronx, New York knew that this motherfucker was the damn mandatory, but nobody else that supposedly covers the sport of boxing knows?
You know, some people within the. I think you've been taking random trips to Mexico and not telling anybody. I think.
Listen, I could tell you why the boxing media was confused. Very simple. Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn is the one that put it out there that it wasn't for the mandatory. He was the one that said that, and everybody picked up and ran with it.
I didn't see any. I haven't seen anything where he said that it wasn't for the mandatory.
It was. I got the email, mate. Look at this email that the WBC sent me, mate. It says that it's not for the mandatory, and then they go in there and announce Dominic Brazil is the mandatory. What's going on? This is bullocks. No, Mr. Mary Poppins. It's not bullocks. You guys just don't pay attention to what's going on. The WBC clearly said that it was for the mandatory. And let me ask you a question. When Dominic Brazil was left without anyone to fight for that mandatory position because of Luis Ortiz tested positive for PEDs, are you telling me that the WBC should have punished Dominic Brazil for somebody else testing positive for drugs? He deserved to be the mandatory.
Here's the thing. You could do something where you say, hey, look, we had this situation. It's kind of similar to the situation that happened with Brahman Stavern.
No. This guy was totally.
So how is it that Brahman Stavern could go ahead and have that mandatory position and not really fight anyone?
Yeah, at this time, they gave people a chance to fight for it. It just so happened that Eddie Hearn didn't want to pony up that $2 million. Sorry.
$2 million. Come on, man.
Yo, listen, JR. He paid $6 million for Charles Martin. $6 million for Charles Martin.
7, brother, 7.
For Charles Martin. You're telling me that he couldn't pony up $2 million for Dominic Brazil? You know why he didn't do it? Because he did not believe that Dillian White had any commercial value, so he didn't see any return on his investment, so he didn't want to invest the money. That's what really happened.
How much? Wait, how much did Dominic Brazil get for his fight against Anthony Joshua?
It don't matter.
Oh, here we go.
It don't matter because you know what? Because you listen. It matters what you can negotiate. That's all that matters. In whatever fight you're about to have, whatever you can negotiate at that time is what matters only. All that other shit don't matter. Sometimes you got to play your leverage to get the most money out of it. Eddie Hearn didn't want to invest. Oh well, Dillian White wasn't fighting for the mandatory, and now look at him, knocked out by some old Russian drug user. Oh well, you hate to see it.
They hate to see that shit. You know
that Deontay Wilder didn't want to fight. Okay, cool.
Oh my God, yo, you see how un-American you are?
Hold on, I know you're not saying Wilder ducked Povetkin. Are you serious?
Don't make me go through that experiment again.
JR, you're so un-American. You hate Deontay Wilder so much that you would look to excuse a Russian drug user just to have a pop at Deontay Wilder.
How much? Hey, how much did Deontay Wilder get in that settlement? Or wait,
here we go. MG
is lurking, man. MG, what's going on?
What's going on, fellas? It's Mike. How y'all doing?
What's going on, Mike? Oh man, this has just been a real.
Yo, are you saying that Povetkin? Are you saying Wilder ducked Povetkin? Is that what you're saying?
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is in reference to the lawsuit, right?
That's exactly what you said about a minute ago, bro. That's what you said.
What I'm saying is that Deontay Wilder, all he had to do was arrive in Russia. That's it. All he had to do was arrive in Russia, and he would have gotten that money that he was talking about.
True. That's not true, JR. That's not true. That's not true.
What was the contract? What was in the contract?
Excuse me, because I have done my research on this. Let's see what was ruled, okay? What was ruled was that while they do agree that Alexander Povetkin probably used PEDs, what they ruled was that at the time that he used them, it was not against the WBC rules technically. So there was no way that he could be punished. That is why the WBC came up with the clean boxing program.
Wait a minute. Why does it say that the Second Circuit Court of Appeals dismissed claims from both sides of a breach of contract?
Yes, they dismissed the claims because how can the contract be breached if it was not against the WBC rules to be caught with PEDs? That is what the judge said in his ruling. And I'll be happy to send that to you also. Y'all gotta stop it. Y'all gotta stop the hate. Y'all gotta stop the hate.
Go ahead and send it.
Love, not hate.
Go ahead and send it.
Deontay Wilder been fighting cheaters all his life, man.
And send it. Send it.
Well, my food just came, so you're gonna have to wait.
Oh, come on, man.
I'm sitting there looking at it. I'm reading this boxing scene article from like a year and a half ago or whatever, and Luis Ortiz was trying to fight Dillian White on the undercard of the Wilder versus Fury.
Yeah, that was after Dillian White had called him out, and then when Luis Ortiz accepted the fight, Dillian White all of a sudden was like, "Nah, forget it. I'm gonna fight Chisora instead."
Man, why
Facts, bro? I'm just throwing those out there, bro.
But y'all won't say anything about when Dillian White and Luis Ortiz were available, and Dillian White said, "Hey, we are available so that we could fight for that spot that you have in the WBA." What did Luis Ortiz do? How come y'all don't bring that up?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
Do you realize the WBC shanked? All right. The WBC sanctioned that fight, brother. sanctioned for White to fight Ortiz in
Who?
the WBC.
I'm talking about the WBA. Because remember, Ortiz was the interim champion at one point with the WBA. He had the number one spot. He was number one. At the time, they had Vladimir Klitschko at number two. But here was a agreement that Ortiz was under. He was supposed to face, what was it? Alexander, I keep forgetting that guy's last name.
Usmanov.
Yeah, Usmanov, right? Because he had already beat Jennings. It was Jennings, because it was going to be Jennings and Usmanov. But he didn't make that. He didn't honor that agreement. And because he didn't, he was stripped of that status.
I know what I'm reading right now. In 2018, White ducked Ortiz twice in 2018, bro.
He didn't duck Ortiz twice. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man.
I wasn't even gonna name.
I'm reading it right now, bro.
Everybody's talking about.
I wasn't even gonna name Dillian White as a better. I wasn't even gonna name Dillian amongst better heavyweights than Ortiz, anyways.
Because he's
You
not.
came back. You did some research. So give me the 5 that was better than Ortiz. Go ahead.
The 5 that were better than Ortiz: Wilder, Joshua, Povetkin, Parker, Pulev. Yes, I will go with Pulev.
God. Oh my God.
Pulev's win over Derek Chisora is like 10 times better than any win on Ortiz's resume.
You keep going back to that, bro. That doesn't who's all right, man.
Everybody,
You know how people-
Yes, resume is how you dictate someone's caliber.
What is Ortiz's win that has him stand out above any of those guys?
If resume just doesn't matter,
I'm not saying that resume
who you beat
doesn't
doesn't
matter. It
matter.
matters to
And you know
certain
what?
extent.
Tony Yoka is my number 1 heavyweight.
well, you don't watch boxing then.
Oh, wow. Come on, man. Don't even do that.
If it's I don't even believe that, but if it's just completely subjective like that,
It's
Come
never
on,
black
Pulev.
and white. In other words, there's for instance, people want to see Caleb Plant versus Canelo. Who did Caleb Plant beat?
he is a champion. Ortiz never was.
Okay. All right. Okay, so but for the matter, who did Devin Haney beat? He's a champion, right? Well, people want to see Devin Haney fight someone else. So even you can have a belt and not be. In other words, Jeff Horn.
I don't even want to see him versus Tiafimo just because he's done enough to prove it. I want to see it because the corruption of these sanctioning bodies has gotten in the way of an undisputed title fight between he and Lomachenko. And the only way for there to be a complete settlement of the dispute is if he and Devin Haney get in the ring.
My whole point is that
How the hell can sanction body get in the way of it? They didn't force Lomachenko to vacate. Lomachenko wanted to do that. What are you talking about?
Well, regardless, Devin Haney didn't win the title.
Yes, he did.
Well,
yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
He fought for a vacant title, didn't he?
No,
So
he
he won
wasn't.
it.
He won the interim title against Abdulayev.
Yes, and what
And then
happened?
he was upgraded.
Why was he upgraded? Because one guy vacated. So are you telling me that when Golovkin was made the WBC champion, were you still going around saying Golovkin's not the champ Canelo is? Because I'm going to say you're lying.
No, I didn't. I wasn't even really paying attention like that at the time Golovkin became WBC champ.
Well, I was, and I remember.
Screw Golovkin. No, I'm just.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
I'll give you the first two, bro. Like AJ and like Fury, and after that, but like the other three, I mean, those are like look, I'm not dissing Joe Parker. Joe Parker and Andy Ruiz had a good fight, but in my humble opinion, I feel like Ruiz beat Joe Parker. But that's just my opinion. But like I said, to name 5 guys that like you for certain that you feel like that like he will win, no. And I don't go off a resume. I go off a fighting style, and of course, resume matters, but. But basically, like, who will win?
Luis Ortiz's fighting style doesn't impress me that much.
I just want to point out that
what's unimpressive about his style? What's unimpressive about?
The first time Wilder fought Ortiz, Tyson Fury was still retired. So I don't see how he was one of your top 5 heavyweights.
I didn't bring up Tyson Fury.
Oh, I thought you said AJ and Fury. So it's AJ and who else?
I said AJ, Wilder, Povetkin, Parker, and Pulev.
So that drop off after AJ and Wilder is like, you realize there's a drop off, right?
Yeah, exactly. Luis Ortiz is part of that drop off.
So you saying that, right? So okay, but so you saying you say Luis Ortiz is what? He's a part of that drop off, right? Then
Yes.
if that's the case, then he's in the caliber of those guys. But my whole point is this, and so what I'm saying is, so if he's in the caliber of those guys, you say Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker was a champion, right? Okay. So and if Ortiz is in that caliber, then Ortiz is a championship caliber fighter, correct?
No.
Let me go through these. Okay. Are we going through, like, what time period are we going through? Because I'll name some other fighters.
2018, March 2018, when Deontay Wilder hit Luis Ortiz with the uppercut from hell. Luis Ortiz on his knees.
Most of those fighters ducked Ortiz. The guys he naming, like most of those guys wanted no part of Ortiz, man.
No, do I have to rehash the myth of Luis Ortiz once again?
No, please don't.
Okay.
It's not a myth, bro.
It's a myth, bro. Come on, man.
Oh.
Come on. Like,
but why didn't White just run through him so he can get to his dream match?
Okay, here's my issue, right? Is Dylan White the only heavyweight out there in the division? Yes or no? So why is it?
That question. Come on, man. I'm not answering.
Why is it that only one heavyweight is being brought up when it comes to Luis Ortiz?
Because he's probably the most famous guy that was put on blast for ducking Ortiz.
That's not what I'm talking about.
There's been rumors that AJ as well.
Are there one heavyweights out there that are amongst the top part of the division?
My point is that he's top 5. I say he was top 5.
Why is it that nobody within the top 10 of the heavyweight division ever gets discussed when it comes to Luis Ortiz?
By the way, let me specify. When I said Ortiz is part of that drop-off, I just meant he wasn't a part of that top tier. I do think there are things separating Joseph Parker and Luis Ortiz's caliber of heavyweights. So just because two guys aren't an elite caliber, that doesn't mean they're on the same level. Like Kamil Sokolovsky is not as good as Dillian White.
Joseph Parker ain't shit, by the way.
Oh, remember, I forgot. He ain't no killer.
He ain't no killer. I've been saying that for years. He ain't no killer.
He ain't no killer.
He ain't no killer.
He's not. Nor is Ortiz.
I think Ruiz. What? I think Ruiz beat him, bro.
He did.
I did too. But nothing. No win on Luis Ortiz's resume even comes close to even that.
Okay.
Going life and death with
what? What, the fight that you just said that he didn't win?
So I'm gonna go by the transnational boxing rankings back in March of 2018.
The Teddy Atlas rankings? No, thank you.
No, man, that's animal, bro.
Teddy Atlas.
Teddy Atlas ain't no part of no transnational boxing rankings board.
He's on the front page.
Tell him to delete him off the front page. Man, Teddy Atlas is no part of the transnational boxing rankings board, man. Come on, man. All right, top 10. Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, Joseph Parker, Luis Ortiz, Kubrat Pulev, Alexander Povetkin, Dylan White, Carlos Takam, Jarrell Miller, and Dominic Brazil. That's March of 2018.
So he was top 5.
Who, Ortiz?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, so
what I'm saying is,
I was right.
But what I'm saying is, like, why is it that none of these other guys are being brought up saying that they ducked Luis Ortiz when it comes to this? You don't see anyone saying
Dillian White was the one running off at the mouth about Luis Ortiz and then refused to fight him. I do not respect that. Even when you was in elementary school When somebody said that they wanted to fight you, you would meet them at 3 o'clock outside after school in the park, and y'all would get it cracking. You would not say, "Oh, I was just joking. I'm not going to fight you. Let me go fight somebody else." That was never respectable, and that's what Dillian White did. So he is forever a chatty patty and a donkey, and I don't want to hear nothing from him.
Let me try something here. Hey, I might have to see if I could do some work in here. Let me see. So I got somebody here joining in. Yo, what's up? L Dog. Supposedly some L Dog is
yo.
Yeah, what's going on, man? So we talking about this Luis Ortiz thing.
Oh man, you already know my opinion on Luis Ortiz. He's just an overrated contender. Never really was shit in the amateurs. Never was shit in the pros.
Another
I ain't
European,
British either, man.
Another fucking Europe. They all hate Ortiz.
Yeah.
They all hate Ortiz.
There
bro.
we go.
Oh, I actually wasn't born in Europe either.
Well, you
I
got
don't
the
even
accent.
live in Europe.
Well, you got
So
the
where you
accent.
stole that accent from, bro?
I'm from New Zealand.
Oh, that's where Cal Brook is getting sent to.
Send him back to New Zealand. Send him back to New.
Yo.
But the thing with Luis Ortiz is his resume and his skill set doesn't impress me, all right? Just his skill set in general, because we all know that you can be a good boxer without having a good resume. You know, some guys, they get ducked or they just don't get the opportunities. But when it comes to Luis Ortiz, his punch output is very low. His footwork is slow and plodding. He's a southpaw. Whenever he tries to get his lead foot on the outside, his step is so obvious. It's so obvious, and like I want to say, it's like a telegraphed step to the side. And to be honest, his speed and his power ain't that good either. Like the guy doesn't really have devastating punching power.
Well, Alexander Flores felt that punching power. Oh wait, my bad.
Oh yeah. Alexander Flores, but let's examine Alexander Flores. Joseph Parker knocked him out, and someone even before that knocked out Flores. I forgot who it was. So he has already been knocked out twice, KO'd, by the way.
Did you watch the Flores fight versus Parker?
Yeah, I did.
And you thought that was a legitimate fight?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess we differ. Because I remember watching that live, and that was a whole shit show.
And first of all, don't compare a Joseph Parker to a Luis Ortiz, because Parker's resume is way better than a Luis Ortiz.
You mean Parker's had more opportunity?
I mean, Parker's resume is better. Let's not talk about the opportunity yet. Let's just address the fact that his resume, it is better.
You mean he had more opportunity?
No.
Like, how can you disregard the opportunity?
Hold on. They've had the same amount of title shots. 2.
Yeah, but one had to fight Deontay Wilder, one didn't.
One had to fight. Okay. One had to fight
Andrew Ruiz and Anthony Joshua anytime over taking a title shot versus
this is the thing.
Mr. One Hitter Quitter.
You're admitting that your fighter Luis Ortiz's resume is garbage. So now you're switching to the you're trying to justify why his resume is garbage.
For a better caliber.
But that is why. But that's why though. That's a part of Ortiz. The fact that he's considered the boogeyman and that he's been.
Oh, bro, he ain't the boogeyman.
What I'm saying is that's a part of it.
But that goes back to my question. That goes back to my question. Why is it that when it comes to certain fighters, it's, they're ducking Ortiz, but when it comes to fighters that are within their own promotional group, they're not even being brought up? Like Charles Martin, like Gerald Washington, Adam Kalnacki, those guys. You don't see anything being mentioned about them fighting Luis Ortiz. But when it comes to these other guys, oh, it's Luis Ortiz is being ducked. Why is
Gerald
that?
Washington. Like Gerald Washington?
That's facts, and that's the thing with Luis Ortiz. Also, these people who they hype up Luis Ortiz being ducked, whatever, they don't
These
talk
people?
about all the other heavyweights who are actually being ducked,
Like who?
like a Filip Hrgović, like a Aslanbek Makhmudov. Those guys are being ducked.
Wait. You think the big Russian Canadian is being ducked?
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, I guess everyone's being ducked then. If those two guys are getting ducked, everyone's getting ducked. Only thing I know is that they didn't want to make Michael Hunter versus Hrgović. They didn't want to
Yes,
make
they
that
did.
fight.
Yes, they did. I'm gonna have to correct you on that one. Hold up, bro. What card did they fight on the same cards on? They fought twice on the same card. First one was Devin Haney versus Antonio Moran. Team Hrgović, shout out to them, offered Michael Hunter a fight. Michael Hunter said no. So then they offer him another fight on the AJ Ruiz 2 undercard. Hunter said no. So he's already ducked the fight twice. You know, he's turned down the fight twice. Now he's begging us for a fight. You know, Team
Come
Hrgović.
on.
So he's gonna have to keep. Okay. So what about when he ducked him to fight Fabio Fidel Maldonado or whatever his name is? What about that time? So let's not act like he hasn't been getting offers, but somehow now Hrgović is ducking. Listen, just like Eddie Hearn said, you know, you go running around saying you want to fight for free, so fight for free this time.
You know, Eddie Hearn literally also said that Michael Hunter has become a boogeyman in the heavyweight division. So which Eddie Hearn do you believe? The one that's telling you that he's ducking him, or the one that tells you that nobody wants to fight Hunter and he's a boogeyman? Because he literally just said that this year.
Nah, this isn't what Eddie Hearn said, bro. This is facts. You can look it up.
Okay.
Hrgović, his team offered Michael Hunter 2 fights. Michael Hunter rejected. Now that Michael Hunter's matchroom deal was terminated, he's begging for a fight.
Okay.
So let's not act like Hrgović is ducking Michael Hunter, because that's
what I'm acting like is
it's-
me. I don't believe that any fighter is getting ducked, because there's always someone that's willing to fight you. It might be someone with no notoriety at all that nobody cares about, but there's someone out there willing to fight someone.
Okay, cool. So let me guess, because let's get back to the Ortiz topic. I'm gonna just ask you this: is Deontay Wilder your favorite heavyweight right now?
Oh, of course.
Okay, that
That
explains
makes two
everything.
of us. That makes two of us. Yeah.
That makes three of us.
Oh yeah, man, I forgot. Not only do we have the president of the Deontay Wilder fan club on here with us, we also do have the vice president of the Deontay Wilder fan club on here with us. I forgot about that. See,
Well, so I guess you guys want to see the trilogy, right?
Don't
I'm
you?
sorry, what'd you say?
Yeah, I want to see the trilogy.
Like I don't. If someone said they don't want to see like the trilogy, then they're probably like just. I would question whether they're really boxing fans. I would say they're more fanboys. Because we don't get enough great fights anyway, and especially with controversy and all this other shit. Like, so why would y'all like?
I'm a boxing fan, given what happened in the second fight.
What about
but
all the controversy?
Well, I enjoyed the second
no
fight.
Controversy. There's nothing controversial about it.
Nah,
What?
come on, bro. The referee stopped it. The referee stopped it too early, bro. The referee stopped that fight too early.
Nothing.
Ah, come on,
Nothing
dude.
controversial.
Hold
Why
up.
do people talk about it still to this day? That fight happened in February. That was 10 months ago, bro. How can you say it's not controversial?
Here's the thing. Like, for me, the reason I want to see the trilogy is because I want to see Fury get a body on his record and kill Deontay Wilder in the boxing ring.
No, you don't want to see that. No, you don't.
Didn't Deontay Wilder say that?
No, you don't.
Yeah, Deontay Wilder said he wanted a body on his record, so he, he said he's willing to die in the ring. So I say let's let him die in the ring.
Yo,
But
man, keep the
isn't
dude
this
That's
off
not
the
nice.
field, man.
Wilder?
That's
Isn't
not
this the
nice.
same-
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but isn't this the same Deontay Wilder that said after the Dominic Brazil fight that isn't it like a blessing of some sort to, be able to take out all your differences in the ring and then after the fight, be able to kiss and hug and go back home to our families. He basically said that after the Brazil fight.
Nah, but he said
There's
he
a
wanted
difference
to.
between building up a
me-
fight, talking shit to help build the fight and promote it. That's different than like the shit that you're talking about right now. Like you seem real malicious. You seem like it's personal, and you seem like you really want this dude.
Nah,
to,
it's not personal. It's just Wilder. He said like he wanted to. He would die in the ring. So I say, cool, let's let him.
I don't want to see anything like that. I really don't. Like
See, these are the dudes that don't care. Like if his gloves were actually loaded or he did cheat in some way, these are the dudes that don't care because they just want to see Wilder die in the ring. See what I'm saying? And motherfuckers wonder why we come at people a certain way or we feel a certain way about this shit, right? When you hear shit like that, a fucking known cheater that wasn't doing shit but eating Ben and Jerry's and snorting coke on his fucking couch like 3 years ago, and Wilder hit him up. Wilder hit him up and told him, "Hey man, get your fat ass in shape, and we can make this fight happen." Put money in his pocket, gave him a chance when Eddie Hearn didn't even look his way and called him a joke. I'm not even gonna get into it, man. But to hear that just goes to show you everything you need to hear on the replay. Listen to the type of shit this dude saying. Like you're taking.
Yeah, but
Nah. Listen, cheating is never accepted. But what I'm saying is, shout out to Deontay Wilder. Believe it or not, I am a Deontay Wilder fan. But for me, Wilder. He said he wanted to die in the ring. He'd rather die in the ring than have the towel thrown in. So listen, as Deontay Wilder fans, we should respect our king's wishes. Wilder is my king, and I would never disobey his wish, man. I would leave him to die in that ring if that's his, if that's what our king demands.
That's why somebody got fired because they didn't obey his wishes.
Oh man.
Yo, this shit turned like hell left.
If I'm not mistaken, didn't Tyson Fury publicly disclose the offer that Eddie Hearn had to him in reference to a 3-fight deal? So how is it that it's just Wilder on his side that offered him an opportunity when both?
Wilder should get back in line, wait for the undisputed fight to happen, and then we can talk about a third fighter of him against the winner.
Hey, I dare Wilder to enter that IBF eliminated tournament, man. I dare him to enter that tournament.
Why would he? When he has a rematch clause.
Not anymore, he doesn't.
No, you don't want him to. What do you mean, not anymore? No, that's what you don't want.
No, I do want Wilder.
Does.
I do want Wilder to have a rematch because that's the fastest way I can see him get his ass kicked again.
Can't
See,
wait.
this is why I don't get about a lot of Tyson Fury fans, right? See, I actually agree with the Wilder fans.
Like, this is some troll shit, right?
Like shout out to the Wilder fans, man. Like I agree, the Fury fans, they say they don't want the trilogy, but didn't they enjoy seeing Wilder get beat to a bloody pulp? I'd happily watch it again.
I can't wait for this one. Oh, I can't wait.
Of course you can't wait. Of course you were
Yo, they so lucky. They so lucky that Fury had a favorable ref. They're so lucky because
2020.
All enemies.
it wouldn't even been a rematch if Fury didn't get his ass up.
You
Like
had
after getting knocked out cold.
Then you witnessed Adam Kalnaki get knocked out. Man, it was like a bad 2020 for you.
And then what happened? Redemption.
Being
all enemies of the Bomb Squad will have no good come to them. I'm telling you that. And it's been happening. Listen, we've been on a revenge tour, baby. We've been on a revenge tour.
Is this
First
supposed to
Dillian
be
White.
similar to the get back year that Keith Thurman was supposed to have?
Oh,
But hold
yeah.
on. Let me ask you guys this, all right?
But
Because you
yo,
guys
hold
are
up, hold
Deontay
up,
Wilder.
Boxosaurus, bro. All, come on, you can't throw Keith Thurman in this because any fighter would take that paycheck, bro. That
So
fucking that Manny Pacquiao stimulus package, who wouldn't? Like that's what Errol Spencer's trying to get right now. That's what Bud's been trying to get since 2014. Like,
so I know you guys are Wilder fans, so you believe in like the glove gate or whatever. So the thing that you guys,
Don't
this
tell
dude
me
a
what
troll,
I believe
bro.
in. Don't tell me what I believe in.
Let's do the fucking troll, bro.
yeah, my bad.
Nobody said I
Wow.
believe all that.
You know, there is a theory about Glovegate, right? And there's also a theory that he got a dent in his head. Now, if that was true, like I'm not so sure I'd be confident about redemption. I mean, the dude's got a dent in his head. Surely his punch resistance is going to be a little weakened.
We'll see.
I mean, how old is he now? 35?
Yeah, happy birthday, Deontay Wilder. Happy birthday. Just celebrated another birthday, man.
Shout out to him, man. It might be
Yo,
his last.
just
It might be
imagine,
his last
bro.
if it
What
really
Fury,
happened.
Did he celebrate by playing that TLC? Oh, my bad. Sorry.
October 22nd, a star was born. The GOAT, the great Deontay Wilder, Mr. One-Hitter Quitter, the man who brought the heavyweight division back.
Oh, God.
Actually, no one man brought the heavyweight division back.
The man who brought the division back.
Come on, bro.
America didn't give a fuck about the heavyweight division until Wilder popped back up.
Come on, bro. The heavyweight division was brought back by multiple guys. It was a combination of Fury, AJ, Wilder, Usyk, White.
Nobody. Usyk.
This man said Usyk.
Usyk. How many fights does Usyk had at heavyweight? 1, 2.
And, hey, he almost he had a competitive fight with Chisora.
But he's right. Usyk brought back the heavyweight division, man. Yeah.
I said he was one of the components of bringing back the division.
Please explain. Please explain. Explain.
He wasn't a spark plug. He just got to heavyweight like what?
Let him
3
explain.
weeks ago?
Let him explain. Let him explain.
Right.
Let him explain.
So the heavyweight division and the cruiserweight division are intrinsically linked.
No, they're not.
That always
No, they're
has
not.
been.
Fuck out of here, man.
Always will be.
Nobody cares about cruiserweight in America.
The prospect, yeah, well, that's because you guys fighters can't compete at cruiserweight, but you know.
No, that's because we fight at heavyweight, motherfucker.
Really? So how many champions do you have right now? Or what about top 10 contenders?
You mean how many champions do we have that was not cheated?
Looking bleak right now, eh? Looking pretty weak right now.
It's coming back. The revenge tour continues.
Well, listen, I'll be honest. If Wilder knocks out Fury, that would actually be very
The
interesting.
prefix of his sentence. Look, I'll be honest, man. Get the fuck out of here, Mr. Usyk brought back the fuck. He was the spark plug that ignited.
Did he explain? Did he explain?
So here's my theory on what brought the heavyweight division back.
Tell us about Usyk.
Let's say it's like a pyramid, right? At the top of the pyramid, the guys who really brought it back, AJ, Wilder, Fury. I don't think anyone will disagree that those three helped bring it back, and that without if you take any one of those three out, you don't have it. Then just below them, I have guys like Usyk and Dillian White who helped bring the division back. Dillian White being a top contender, being in good fights, helping to build that rivalry between AJ, having his own rivalry with Chisora, and Usyk, who got the cruiserweight division heated and moved up to heavyweight. It was the threat of the cruiserweight. It reminded people like the Evander Holyfields, the David Hayes.
Don't you ever put this dude's name with Evander Holyfield? Get the fuck out of here, man. Ever.
Bro, I'm just explaining my theory.
I second that.
And then you have guys like Andy Ruiz, and you have guys like Joseph Parker there as well, who helped expand heavyweight boxing to historically not really significant markets, but now quite significant markets in the heavyweight division. Andy Ruiz helped bring Mexican market to the division. Joseph Parker helped rejuvenate the New Zealand market into that division since the kind of retirement of David Tua.
Dude, so
So-
full of shit, man.
I'm just explaining because, heavyweight boxing is one of the few divisions that truly has a global market. Heavyweight boxing is popular internationally, whereas some divisions are only popular in specific locations.
So what triggered America? What made America start caring about heavyweight division again? What fighter?
Deontay Wilder.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, there's been a lot of different a lot of key components that have gone in the right place for heavyweight boxing to be where it is today.
Right.
And I
that
think the
spark
best
plug was Usyk, the one that ignited everything. I got you.
No, I said the spark was Wilder, AJ, Fury, and I said Usyk and White were close seconds.
So how does Usyk? But explain that part again. Just that little
I said
part.
Usyk.
How did Usyk contribute? No, like how did he contribute? Like he just got to heavyweight, right? But what I'm saying is that the heavyweight division was sparked, especially you said internationally, right? But America is such a strong, such a major portion, a major part of fucking heavyweight boxing, right? We've had pretty much all the greatest. Like we've had the best.
Well, not right now, I don't think.
No. Well,
listen, man. Heavyweight boxing in America has been dead since.
So where's the YouTube videos? Where's the YouTube videos about Usyk? Where are the AJ YouTube videos?
There are plenty of them. Listen, if you look,
in relation,
dude,
in comparison to
for
what,
them,
bro?
if you look for them, you'll find them.
I don't want a needle in haystack shit. No. I'm talking about the popular videos that people come into. Right now, you're on the American Guys channel, right? Generally, when you go to run and you want to troll, what are you doing, right? You're going to most likely to some channel that's ran by an American, right? That's moderated by an American, right? Isn't that what y'all do? Y'all troll American, right? Y'all troll the American boxing channels, correct? For the most part, right?
Hey,
Look,
listen, man. I don't discriminate. I don't discriminate, man. I troll anyone.
Look, here's the thing. Wilder, look, the American boxing market does not run the heavyweight division at this point. And YouTube does not really dictate that either. Because if YouTube did dictate
bullshit,
that,
when you search shit, YouTube is the first thing that comes up.
Let me explain something to you.
What's the number one search engine? What's the number one search engine?
Bro, hold on. Have you ever heard of a fighter named Pedro Pataran?
They coincide. Who owns Google?
Have you ever heard of Pedro Pataran? Just answer that question for me.
Say that again.
Pedro Pataran.
Was that some new dance out? What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah.
He is the IBF strawweight champion. His fights on YouTube have done millions of views on YouTube. In fact, probably do more views than Wilder. Is he a more famous boxer than Wilder? Not even close.
Not, which is my...
Well, let me explain this. Let me explain something to you. You look at any... do you watch many like heavyweight boxing channels, like specifically like Boxing Squared? If you look at his most viewed videos and the most viewed
I like
fight
Mr.
replays,
Boxing Today, man.
Okay, Mr. Boxing Today.
See, the thing is that I come from an era we create we built the foundation, that first slab of concrete, that the foundation that everything was built on. 08, 09. All right. When I think about guys who cover the heavyweight division, and most of the time that's pretty much all they upload. I mean, it's talk about other shit as well, but for the most part, the central thing that they talk about, the main focal division that they speak on, and most of their videos are uploaded about, is the heavyweight division. I think of Mr. Boxing Today, the brother Mr. Boxing Today. That's
okay. But listen, right. What I'm trying to explain is specific boxers from specific locations do a lot of views on YouTube. Look at F.A. Ajagba, for example. You'd hardly say F.A. Ajagba is a big star, but the dude does massive fucking viewership on YouTube, like hundreds and thousands, sometimes even millions. Same with Australian 154 pounder Tim Tszyu. The dude does massive viewership numbers. They do not correspond to being to bringing the division back, though.
Same with guys like Gerwin Ancajas at super flyweight. He does amazing views on YouTube, Like that guy's
Yeah,
fight against
from the Philippines.
Ryuichi Funai did 6 million on YouTube. His fight against Jamie Conlon did 3 million. Right, like that's bigger than pretty much most of what Wilder does. Is he helping to rejuvenate boxing? No.
But what my whole point is, the heavyweight division, you can't just attribute it to one man. Like, a lot of good things have happened in this division over the past couple of years, and as boxing fans, I feel like we got to respect all of these guys for like, on a serious note. I feel like we
You
should
mean
be
like you
thankful.
do? Like the way you do?
Yeah, I respect all boxers, man. You know, you want to know something? I've actually bought every single Deontay Wilder pay-per-view. Because I
He
support heavyweight
controls the
boxing.
heavyweight division.
Nah, I support any heavyweights, bro. I bought Derek Chisora, Dillian White. I bought AJ's pay-per-views. I buy Joseph Parker's pay-per-views. I buy a lot of pay-per-views at the heavyweight division, man. I support the sport. All I'm saying is, I think it's kind of a disrespectful that Wilder fans just want to attribute the heavyweight division's success to Wilder. I mean,
Who said that? You do a lot of generalizing. Who said that? Who said that Wilder was the sole, only individual guy who's responsible for everything in the heavyweight division? What I said was that he brought back and he made boxing relevant, heavyweight boxing relevant in America, because Floyd Mayweather Jr. had a stronghold, he had the game, the whole boxing game in a lasso, right? He had it in the fucking chokehold, right? And it's been like that for a very long time. All right. So when you think about boxing, especially in America, but even maybe worldwide, everybody know who the fuck Floyd Mayweather is. All right. And even to this day, now that he's fucking retired, he's still very much so popular, just like Mike Tyson and other guys are. That's superstardom, right? That transcends any fucking it's fucking universal, bro. Like, and what I'm saying to you is, like, after Floyd retired, like, but even when Floyd was active, there was no heavyweight, no American heavyweight. The heavyweight division was dead. And what I'm saying is that Deontay Wilder, all right, rekindled it. He fucking lit that fucking fire back into, and it made American heavyweight, and it made American boxing and heavyweight boxing relevant again, and made it somewhat popular again, right? I mean, it's not going to be like the level that it once was. Like, here in America, where there's way too many sports. Like, y'all support boxing in a way. Here in America, we support basketball.
I wouldn't say.
Football.
Nah, I'm not buying that. A lot of Americans, they want to say that because other sports give scholarships, that's the reason heavyweight boxing has declined. But if you look at the decline,
That's not what I said.
It was actually when the Soviet Union was dissolving and that Eastern Europeans could turn professional. That's when heavyweight boxing, cruiserweight boxing, and with the 175-pound division started to become less American.
I never. No. I'm talking about the heavyweight division, and I'm talking about basically, like I said, after Floyd Mayweather retired, right? And even while he was still active, right? The heavyweight division didn't get much limelight. Back then, it was the Klitschko's, right? Klitschko's didn't really come on, like their fights didn't even really come here on America. Like, it didn't really show on television. It showed on, not on any major television station. I think it showed on like Epix or Stars or some shit like that, which was like a premium channel, right?
The Klitschko's were big stars though worldwide. You look at their viewership numbers; they were big stars.
In America, we weren't fucking with the Klitschko's. We weren't fucking with the heavyweight division like that, right? I think the last time heavyweight
did hundreds of millions of viewers around the world.
Yeah. In America, we weren't fucking with the Klitschko's like that. The heavyweight division wasn't popular like that over here. What I'm saying is, if we were fucking with the Klitschko's like that, and we were fucking focusing on the heavyweight division, and it had limelight like that, then it would be shown on fucking regular television. It would be shown on television.
The thing is, it hasn't really been like the heavyweight division hasn't really been a spotlight within America since. You had the likes of Evander Holyfield and Riddick Bowe at the top. Once they kind of like, faded out, you really didn't see many contenders, from America that, were able to step up and be, like a world champion. You're not going to say someone like a level of a Chris Bird is someone that we kind of followed there in the heavyweight division. So if you're not going to have somebody that's a level of a, a heavyweight or a super heavyweight that could compete against the likes of like a Lennox Lewis or Vladimir Klitschko or even a Samuel Peter at that particular time, then you're not going to have that type of attention with the sport of boxing towards that. So, and even with the likes of Evander Field and Riddick Bowe, it wasn't like, they were Mike Tyson. Like Mike Tyson was basically someone that captivated, the world. But of course, it captivated America because he was, not only a sports icon, he was a pop culture icon as well. So if you don't necessarily have someone at that particular level, then America is not going to gravitate towards that. You've had people, you've had these other sports out here. So it's not like, college football was, just out there, or the NFL was not doing its thing until recently or anything like that. Those sports have been there. Boxing has still been able to have their guys be featured and be, put in spotlights, if need be. But there has not been an American heavyweight that really captivates an audience to the level to where, okay, if this guy's fighting, we're going to stop what we're doing. We're going to stop what we're watching, and we're going to watch him fight.
There hasn't been a crossover star.
I feel like to become a star, you almost like for an American star to really emerge, you'd almost need domestic rivals. Like you look at the UK, right? They've got domestic rivalries. They've got the Dillian Whites, the Derek Chisoras, the AJs, the Furies. These guys who can have rivalries and have good fights and different levels. In America,
shoot, I'm still waiting on that Joe Joyce, Daniel Dubois.
Hell, part of the reason Ali became so famous, or part of the reason he became super famous is because he went on a European tour in the middle of the 60s, where he went overseas and fought London. He fought the rematch with Henry Cooper. He fought Carl Mildenberger in Germany.
Right. But what I'm saying is like when it comes to Wilder, he didn't really have many domestic opposition to really fight to build his profile in America. I feel like boxing in America would be way more popular if there was more than just Deontay Wilder. I mean, at heavyweight boxing, if there was more than just Deontay Wilder.
That's a great point.
Yes.
There is no like Wilder's from the South, right? There is no like guy from the North or somewhere like different demographic or whatever that could really, have a rivalry and bring. I mean, you could say Andy Ruiz, but there is no like, let's say Gerald Washington or Dominic Brazil were really good. I mean, that would have helped Wilder out a lot.
Yeah,
it's only space enough for one king.
No.
Yeah, but there can be. No, hold on. There can only be one king, but there can be many usurpers.
Wow. Look, man, I don't know, man. Like, I want to reiterate this though. Like, I wasn't saying that Vladimir wasn't, the Klitschko's weren't popular or anything, but it's just it wasn't the same because, like I said, like in America, like the true boxing fans, of course we knew who fucking the Klitschko's were. We knew who Samuel Peter were. We knew but that's not what superstardom's about. It's about crossing over and getting people like to notice you who aren't in particular like major boxing fans.
Like all the guys that I've mentioned from the 90s,
like here in America, like here in America, man, like the NFL, like come on, man, like those are the type of sports that really like are like the crossover to everyone and everybody loves. It's not like that, it's not like that when it comes to boxing. And your country or just there in Europe, it's different there. Boxing is a way more important sport there, like it's compared to here. I mean, y'all have darts and shit. Like that shit gets no play over here. We don't fuck with that. Uh, but on this side, like I said, there's basketball, there's football, there's just other sports, and understand like abroad, like in other countries, you guys you have the soccer and you support boxing. Like it's not our main thing here in America, and we're trying to get it back to what it once was. But I'm not saying there's lightning in a bottle, but it's just not something that's easily that we can't. Let's say it is lightning in a bottle. We having trouble capturing that right now. And when I say boxing, I'm talking about the heavyweight division, because we had our Oscar De La Hoyas, we had our Sugar Shane Mosleys, we had our Floyd Mayweather Juniors, we've had our we've had our stars, right? You can make a case that our stars have been bigger, Like I said, it's just it is what it is. It's a down time right now for the heavyweight division,
And to your point, those big guys over 200 pounds, they go and play football. They go and play, sports like that. So I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Also, heavyweight boxing as
But the thing is, though, you have guys that have played football and been into boxing, and they just didn't fare well. You were talking about the likes of a Gerald Washington.
Seth
there,
Mitchell.
you have Seth Mitchell. My guy from Tallahassee, Travis Walker, was in football, and he went into boxing. And remember, he was contending to fight for a world title, and then he fought Chris Arreola and ended up losing. And after that, his career just went on the downturn. You also had like guys like who is it? Tavares Cloud, who's another guy that's from like the Florida area that was like in football at first.
I didn't know he played football. Tavares?
Yeah.
You talking about the fought at 175, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a point to make on that. So how many football players can play football and go and play basketball and be very good at it? You think it's a small subset or a greater subset? Not the fact that they're athletes and they can dunk and stuff, because I've seen some linemen who could do like 360s and things like that. But how many people you think could play football, transfer over to basketball, and be just as competitive with the higher level athletes? How many people, percentage wise?
Yeah, I don't think there's that many, because it's a different type of
different skill set.
Different skill set, different what I'd say type of thing that you have to prepare for. It's like not like reflexes, but you got to have like a different type of energy to play basketball like that.
Definitely. So that's the same premise I'm using with boxing. Football and boxing, while you have a powerful guy who explodes for a few seconds in football, you need endurance. Yeah, the guys who do have explosion, they do well in the heavyweight division, but it's a different skill set. Now, let's use a guy like Deontay Wilder. He started boxing at the age of 21, played basketball, maybe football earlier in his life, and he's at the top of the division, arguably at the top. With that being said, the guy's special, because if you relate him to the other people who transfer over to a different sport later in life, they don't bode that well. This guy is definitely special. Something to commend, being 21 years old, coming into boxing.
I think both those other guys were now like he kind of like started around like 1920 when he was like in the competing in the amateur competitions before entering in the Olympic Games and being part of the Olympic team. So yeah, he kind of like started like 18, 19 years old there in that particular division. So he kind of like learned on the job and on the fly with that. So he did have that there. So that kind of like goes to what he has been able to do at least so far over the course of his professional career. So just have to see what happens next year for him. Let's see real quick. I think they said that they got the judges out for this Crawford Brook fight. Supposed to be Patricia Jarman, Dave Moretti. Goddamn Dave Moretti and shit.
Dave
And
Moretti, oh shit.
yeah, Dave Moretti and Benoit Ruzel. And Tony Weeks will be the referee. Tony Weeks.
Weeks ain't that bad of rough, but
Yeah, he ain't that bad.
Moretti though.
Yeah.
Hasn't he been a part of some controversial scorecards?
Yeah, he has been. And I'm like, isn't he related to Carl or whatever that dude is, man? Carl Moretti or some shit, man. Like,
I think he was in the Pacquiao Bradley card, if I'm not mistaken.
He might have been. That first one, yeah, I'm gonna check. But I thought he was like part of one that was like a recent card, and he had like a real bad scorecard where he gave every round to somebody for some.
Yeah, I think it was a Canelo. It might have been a Canelo fight, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, so, but yeah, he's been involved in some highly questionable decisions as of recent, but
what do I think about that fight, man? Knowing that it's getting pretty close now, right? So now that the fight's getting closer, has anybody changed their mind on their picks, or you giving Brook more of a chance, or is it still how do y'all see the fight?
Oh, Moretti was part of the last Pacquiao fight, not the first one.
The last Bradley Pacquiao fight?
Yeah. Yeah, he was a judge in the last one, but not the first one. First one was Dwayne Ford, C.J. Ross, and Jerry Roth. Those were the ones in that first fight. But yeah, I don't know, man. I still feel weird about this fight, man. It's like it kind of like has the inklings of a Pacquiao Horn, man.
You think so?
Yeah, it's like it has that type of vibe to me, man. Like, cause it's like people who are circulating that, Crawford may be, leaving Top Rank, and I thought he already re-upped with Top Rank. So if he's, having inklings of not, re-signing with Top Rank, then you know how that whole thing with Pacquiao and Horn went.
So look, hold up. When you go back, let's revisit that. So do you think that you think Pacquiao got played out of his belt? You think he was there's some type of conspiracy, or do you think that Horn actually did enough to deserve the win?
I thought Pacquiao won that fight. Especially with that, there was one round where Pacquiao was just battering Horn to the point where, in some cases, the fight could have been stopped. I just thought that Horn, over the course of the fight, just made it a sloppy fight because Horn is a sloppy type of fighter to me. So I didn't really see anything
type fighter, right? Yeah.
Yes. So I didn't think that Horn did much of anything to say that he considerably, beat Pacquiao in that particular fight. But I just felt like, Pacquiao was in a situation where he could have had, at that point, I was talking about why isn't Pacquiao having a fight with Terrence Crawford, right? So that fight was starting to get more and more buzz. But then you had this whole fight against Pacquiao and Horn, and they send Pacquiao out to Australia for that fight. Why would someone of Pacquiao's caliber be sent to Australia for a fight against Jeff Horn, who hardly anyone knows?
From Australia, right? And he's from Australia, so it's
Yeah.
So he gave the guy a home fight, but you know how that goes, just like with the American and whatchamacallit fight, there's gonna always be a little bit of home cooking. If you fighting at home, you know what they say, if you fighting at home, bro, you get an extra round before the fight even starts. You got an extra round in your pocket, before the fight even starts.
Pretty much.
So for him, if you keep the fight close, right, and you're fighting at home, there's a good chance that you can win on the scorecards.
Yeah.
And I felt like Jeff Horn did, keep the fight pretty close. And he roughed up Manny Pacquiao real bad, man. I mean, everybody thought that Manny was just going to run through him. So, but oddly enough, you do realize that like Manny could have got his rematch. He could have fought Horn again if he wanted to, like to get this belt back. But instead,
that wasn't a mandatory defense. So he could have, ran that back, but he chose not to.
And he had almost like a whole year to fight this dude. It's not like Jeff Horn immediately went and fought Bud Crawford. Jeff Horn, that was a whole year later.
The voluntary defense.
Right. And Manny could have intervened at any time and got his belt back. So I thought that was kind of weird. I guess he was just ready to leave. But I think his following fight, he got the WBA regular title. He beat Matisse, right? So that's the timeline. So he went a different direction. So he didn't want his belt back for whatever reason.
It just feels mad weird about this fight here with Kell Brook. I mean, Kell Brook says that, he's adjusted to the time difference and everything like that. And then that he just says that, he's, a big welterweight. He keeps pressing that whole thing about him being a big welterweight. But, on Crawford's side, Crawford's trains against Steven Nelson and other guys at around 160 to 175. So going up against a, guy like Kell Brook, shouldn't be much of an issue for him, on paper. My concern with Terrence Crawford is that he gets hit a lot. He gets hit considerably a lot. And being someone that's coming up from 135 to 147, there's going to be guys that could, really have something behind their punch. And you can't leave yourself open like that. Like the Kavaliauskas fight, he kind of has slow starts sometimes, and I don't like that.
You think Kell Brook might be able to kind of catch him with some heavy shots early and shit, and maybe able to do some damage?
I think he'll work up a jab. He'll work up a few good combinations, and then we'll see how Crawford adjusts to that. I think Kell Brook is someone that has puts a lot of combinations together and things like that. So I think that's going to be something that Terrence Crawford will have to deal with. Crawford is someone that's very tough. That he bites down. He'll bite down on his gum shield and he'll scrap it out if he needs to. But my thing is that sooner or later that's going to catch up to you. And I don't see I don't really see Kell Brook as someone that has a pop behind his punch, that much pop behind his punch, but is someone that could, keeps you honest. You know what I mean? So
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I definitely think he's got some power. I will say that. I'll say that he's probably along with Kyle Velasquez, I would say that he's probably the biggest puncher that Bud's going to fight. And I would say that Kell Brook's the biggest puncher that Errol Spence fought too. So I think Kell Brook's a big puncher, and more importantly, like you said earlier, you were talking about how Bud came from 135. He's I mean, at heart, he's probably a lightweight, bro, or at 140. That's probably his sweet spot. But at 147, you think he's on borrowed time? You think that he's gonna end up getting his bell rung and get knocked out or some shit?
Yeah, I think he's on borrowed time because I really don't consider him as a solid welterweight, but he's he's one of those, they say, country strong type of guys. So if he's if he's like that, then he'll like I said, he'll bite down on his gum shield and he'll go through it if he needs to. But
he seemed like his power seemed to not only carry from 135 to 140 and to now to 140 to 147, but not only has his power increased, Like, but it seems like the way he's, I don't know, it's like he's not using movement anymore. Now, it seems like he's walking through his opponents because he's stopping everything at 147. He's
Yeah.
stopped every opponent that he's fought. He's dropped everybody he's fought, and he stopped them. So it's like, I think there's a chance that even though he's a lightweight, he got a lightweight chin probably. In other words, if his chin holds up versus Kell Brook, I think he might be able to stop him in the later rounds because, like you said,
Right.
he's a notorious slow starter. It is what it is. But like percentage-wise, what do you got it? 50-50, 60-40, 75-25? How you got it?
Like when I initially was looking at this fight, I was more like a 75-25 Crawford, almost close to like 80-20.
Ooh,
But
damn, you didn't have no faith in Kell Brook at first, huh?
I didn't. But I'm looking at this and I'm like, yeah, something's not right, man. Like it's weird. Like I've like kind of told people like,
Uncle Bob.
if you want to drop a little something on Brook, you might be able to do something. But I was like,
a lot of people betting with Kell Brook, man. What about you,
yeah.
MG? What do you got it? What do you got it? Like, what's the percentage you got? Who you got winning, man?
Well, my conventional mind tells me that Terrence Crawford should win. I do think that the one thing that does bode well for Kell Brook is that, as JR said, that Terrence Crawford does get hit too much. He gets hit clean too. And so I do think Kell Brook has an opportunity to let his hands go and catch Crawford with something that Crawford doesn't necessarily see, or he does see it and he just don't block it. And so to try to capitalize on that. So I think there may be an opportunity if Kell Brook stay cautious and don't get hit with nothing big to where he can buzz Terrence Crawford and make it interesting until Terrence Crawford, like you said, walk him down and bludgeon him and, mess up his eye again. So percentage-wise, I would say I agree with JR too, in that I think Uncle Bob might be setting something up to make sure Terrence Crawford stays in-house. If the fight goes to the scorecards, we might see something interesting.
Man, but wouldn't that be fucked up though, bro? Like for everything, like wouldn't that be fucked up, bro? Like JR, wouldn't that be fucked up, man? For everything, like Bud been with Top Rank for a while, bro. So
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean,
in fact, that's the only motherfucker he carried over from like HBO. I mean, I know Loma came along too from HBO to ESPN, but like Bud was like their, he was the guy that they invested in with the pay-per-views and shit, not Loma. You know what I'm saying? So Bud been there since day one, bro. And he gets ridiculed all day, every day online for like the past 4 years. So like if Bob do him like that on his way out, bro, that'd be some fucked up shit, man.
Yeah, but it's like a lot of, there's like some people that just feel like Bob treats guys like Crawford or like Floyd or like Shane differently than a Pacquiao or a De La Hoya or a Lomachenko treats them differently, so. And I haven't really seen to me, I haven't seen like Bob Arum be aggressive with putting Terrence Crawford in a position to be the, feature guy, the spotlight guy, in comparison to, like I said, Oscar De La Hoya, Miguel Cotto, Manny Pacquiao, those type of guys, you know what I mean? So if he, has this type of moment, then I'll be like, well, maybe we should have seen this coming. Because, my thing is, after this fight with, Kell Brook, then what else is there for Terrence Crawford? I mean, they're trying to make the fight between him and Errol Spence for 2021, but, if they're not even like having any type of instances where that could be a possible thing that happens, then what else is out there for Terrence Crawford? Like if you look at it, like they were talking about, oh, we could possibly fight. Even before the thing with what is it with Amir Khan, they were talking about him possibly fighting Danny Garcia, and that kind of like fell through, So,
Yeah, supposedly they sent him a contract, right? Or a contract
yeah,
offer, like a fight offer, and supposedly he didn't even respond. So, yeah.
Yeah. So they were talking about like they sent an offer, but they sent it out to Angel Garcia. They didn't send anything out to Al Heyman. So yeah, that was kind of a messy deal there in that instance. So, but I've kind of said like, hey, Sean Porter is out there, and he said that he would want to have a fight with Terrence Crawford, but that kind of like fell through. So, I mean, I don't know, man. It's kind of a sticky situation, and I don't know how it's gonna end up there for this thing. So it's kind of it's kind of bad when you have this kind of atmosphere around this particular fight that's supposed to be, a fairly good fight on paper if you think about what Kell Brook has done in the welterweight division, in the welterweight division. But yeah, I just don't. Yeah, I really don't know what to say about the fight. I really don't.
Well, you gonna watch it though, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. Yeah, definitely, I'm gonna watch it.
Right. I was about to say, man, the boxing fan in me, like I can't miss it, bro. Like I'm hyped for the fight because, in my humble opinion, I mean, Kell Brook, people are saying, oh, he's got two broken eyes. I'm like, no, it's not. Like that happened like almost 4 years ago. Like
Yeah,
3.5 years ago when that happened, when he fought Triple G and then he fought. The thing was that he really didn't get time to heal. So, when he fought.
so 3 years ago. Like
Yeah.
the thing is like when he lost to Golovkin, that was September 2016, and then it was basically 8 months later he had to fight against Cheryl Spence. So he fought them in like a an 8 month time frame,
Right.
but he hasn't had any issues since. So.
And he went to 150. He's been at 154 the whole time, and he's been fighting guys bigger, taller, stronger, so. And his eye seems to have held up. He hasn't complained about it. Think about it. Even if you're not rich, man. If you break a bone, like you playing ball or something, you fucking break your ankle, you break your, or, you tear your knee, or you break your knee or some shit. Like you go to the hospital, even if you're not rich, they'll still perform surgery on you and patch you up, put you in the cast, and then after your bone heal, after that your leg heal, you're fine.
Yeah.
So I just hate that people are running around saying like it's been almost 4 years and people are saying, oh, Bud is about to fight this guy. This guy's got two broken eyes. I'm like, no, he doesn't. Like who's dumb enough to but people believe it anyway and they're running with it. I'm like, nah, man, he don't have two broken eyes. Like you talking about bones in his eyes, that shit's long gone, bro. Like that's but I don't know, it's just something. There's a little food for thought,
Yeah.
Then there's no IBF 10-pound stipulation.
Yeah, rehydration. Yeah, there's no rehydration in this one.
So what if this dude come in the ring like at 175 or some shit? Like he might try to bully Bud, like he's big, So I don't know. This could be bad. This could be bad for Bud, low key, man.
Yeah. Was it Terrence? Let's see. Brother Lawrence here says that WBO should order their mandatory for Bud. Porter is number one, and his mandatory is due after Brook. Yeah, what was it? Nah, I think that the thing is though, Kavaliauskas was mandatory though. So I don't know when they're gonna order it. I guess it would be after this fight. Cause yeah, Kavaliauskas, I think, yeah, he was the top guy after that Ray Robinson fight. So they had, I guess they named Kavaliauskas the number one contender. And so once Crawford honored that, that was the mandatory. So this fight against Brook is the like a voluntary defense. And after that, you have your mandatory. So with Sean Porter being the top guy, if they order Sean Porter as the mandatory, then yeah, they should order that fight.
Yeah, that's true. But you know what else is pretty crazy is that Sean Porter is also the mandatory for the WBC, and he's the number 2 in the IBF.
Yep.
So he really can go wherever the fuck he want to go. Really, like, what if he decides to exercise his mandatory to fight Errol Spence and get his payback for his rematch? Like, what if he does that instead? So it's really up to Porter's in the driver's seat. Really, like, he can go.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. And actually, I find it interesting though, because I don't see Kell Brook in the WBO rankings.
I think he's ranked number 4 and number 5. You sure? They just put him in, like
you just put him in, yeah.
Like last month.
I mean, that's how they do it. Yeah, that's how they do. They put him in like in the fight, just for the fight. That's how they do that all the time. Yeah, they put him at number 5. They put him at number 5. So
they all do that shit though, bro. Like, if somebody want to come, like, if it's if the fight's big enough, or if they're paid under the table enough, then they'll put whoever you want to put wherever. They don't really care. It's all about the money. Yeah.
Yeah, they put Brook at number 5 so that they're able to get their money to make those fights. Like I've told people, I said, man, there's got to be a way that we could create an organization, make up a ranking system, and come up with a belt and just award guys championships and have them fight and just say, hey, we'll name you the champion. We just want a percentage of the purse. You know what I mean? We'll knock it down to like 1%, or shoot, not even, it could be 0.5%. I don't care. The more belts we make, the more money we get off this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why there's like 6 fucking sanctioning bodies, bro. That's nothing but money, bro. That's In other words, if you want to be ranked, like, think about all the guys. Like, I was looking at the IBF, I was thinking, like, look at all the guys like the Devin Alexanders and all these other people who've been so loyal to the IBF, and that's where he got his titles at and shit. But like, and he had most of his big fights in the IBF, and now he's like at the bottom of the list, or not even ranked at all, or he's like ranked at the bottom of it. Like, those are all those dudes are paying sanctioning fees, like, and they're not even gonna sniff a belt, bro. Like, they're not even gonna get a chance. So they're just basically just milking these fighters, right? And these fighters got their fingers crossed, waiting by the phone, hoping they get a shot, So it's just crazy, man.
Yeah. Is this all about positioning and politics, with these boxing organizations, man? Or whatever opportunities they see in a fighter where they can make the most money. So I mean, you got Canelo that's able to bounce around to 3 different divisions and fight for a world title in any one of those divisions, no problem, because he's Canelo.
So you can do what you want, right?
Yep. That's basically how that goes, man. But man, I've been at this thing for almost 3 hours. This is like one of the longest lives I've done here, man. Shout out to everybody that joined into this conversation. It's been a juicy conversation. One of those moments where someone said that Alexander Usyk
was the light that shines bright on the heavyweight division.
light that shines bright on the heavyweight division. Alexander.
And he said he wasn't. He admitted he was a troll too. Don't forget that.
Everyone.
L Dog usually does stuff like that though. He usually goes on channels regardless of what type of channel it is, and he has those type of takes. So, but that is what that is, man. But yeah, I'm closing this thing out, man. It's 10 o'clock. Yeah, it's 10 o'clock here on the East Coast, man. Thanks for everybody that's joined in to the Random Boxing Talk. Y'all can subscribe, or like I said, you could follow the podcast or whatnot. Live Sundays, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Blog Talk Radio, and it's also available on iTunes or whatever you use for podcasts, man. But thanks for everyone for joining in this conversation. Until next time, folks, I'm out. Peace.